Okay, looks like everything's working. Ow, ow, ow. Got a knot in my hair. It's terrible. All right, we are live.
We're live with a knot in the hair?
Live with a knot in our hair. It's Tuesday night. Welcome to Buff Del Campo. I am Kim of Kim Fixes Things, and this is your host, Buff Del Campo. You already knew that, or else you would not have found the channel. And we are here tonight to talk about stuff. Car stuff. Fun stuff. But since this is a live stream and not long form content, one of the things that we do is that we talk with our live chat. So if you were here later, we try to read the names and continue, follow the conversations so that you don't have to stare at the chat. But it probably is easier to understand what's happening if you have the chat up beside the live. Because we are going to be greeting people as they come and go and talk about the topics that they suggest. We're going to be using our magical green screen.
I wanted to say one thing about that.
Okay.
When you look at the replay later, like if it's right after we're finished, the live chat, or the chat doesn't come up.
It does. It takes a couple hours to start
working.
It takes a
few hours, and then the chat comes up. So go ahead.
Yeah,
it'll be there.
Yeah, we tell it to be there, but YouTube, has its own ideas about things. And you are hearing our sound through our magical microphone. And if it is not working, you could shout it out to the chat. So your sound, your video, let us know if we're messing up so we can fix it. So yes, like I said about greeting people as they come and go, Alum is here first. Congratulations on your firstedness. Mexican Spec, our moderator, is here. Welcome to the stream. Danny Boyd is here as well. John Wilburn, who is, you all know who John Wilburn is, don't you? He's a moderator, and he is the No Name Nationals promoter. Welcome to the stream, John. Thank you for being here. And greetings all around to our friends and everyone. Tonight we have lots to talk about. You don't even know, because while you slept, things happen. The wheels are in motion. We're doing stuff. Yes, things and stuff. Stuff is happening. We are in our in-home studio on Tuesday nights, which gives us the green screen power, which we were talking about. And we like to try and have interesting visual content on the screen, because this is not a podcast. So if you have you can send pictures if you choose. If you have some pictures you'd like to share with the stream, or talk about, or questions about, or that are relevant, you can send them to us at buffdelcampo@gmail.com. I'll put a link to that in the description here in a little bit. And let us know if you sense something. Include your screen name in the email so that we know who is sending us what. And you can do that during the stream, or you can do that, in the intervals between streams. And we'll try and talk about it when you are present so that we can have a conversation about it. Mexican Spec says, I have to cut out on about a half hour. I have to go look at a 95 Ram Charger in my town. Okay, Mexican Spec, we understand.
The thing...
We'll just take it out of your regular...
We miss Mexican Spec when he's not here, but it's so good to see your business is going well enough that you got to keep taking breaks from all the other stuff. Don't apologize
for finding success.
It's good, man. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted you for that.
Dougster Wolverine Garage is here. Have no fear, the Dougster is here. Dougster, I saw a video of you working on a motorcycle, and I was not able to watch it because I have been busy, which is good. Just like Mexican Spec has been busy, I have been busy. I haven't been able to keep up on my YouTube viewing.
The fear just drained out of me.
Oh, good.
Because
we're going.
Because Dougster said, have no fear.
Oh, I wasn't having any fear in this moment, but thank you for helping Buff Del Campo with the tiny nugget of fear. because he was a little bit behind on getting ready for streaming tonight.
Oh man.
And so he was sort of frantic.
I did it.
Ooh, and I mean, I am sweating.
And I got 2 shirts
Turning my
on.
little
I
fan
put
on.
I wear these shirts that are you know, like they seem to be like I'm advertising. So I put on this over the other shirt, and I tend to get cold in here, and she tends to get hot in here. Then she turns the air conditioner.
I
But anyway,
have no temperature.
So Studebaker, not a sponsor. Obviously, they haven't built a car since March of 1966. So, but it's a Studebaker shirt.
KJ Kylie is here. Buff and Kim, how yins doing?
Yins.
That's their Pittsburgh geese coming out. Welcome to the stream.
I'll never get used to that.
Yins got drinks in that. I there was a woman when I was younger, and every sentence she said at the end, she said, an app.
She said what?
An app. It's kind of like and that, but it was just like a nervous twitch almost. She was like, an app.
Oh, is that
I'm going to the house and at to get a couple of drinks and at, and I'll be back, and I'm gonna get chips and that.
We eat all that Pittsburgh talk. I lived in Sharon, Pennsylvania, which is just a little short distance north of Pittsburgh. We never heard any of that. Why? It's really Pittsburgh, isn't it?
A Dakota-based Ram Charger? Oh, I guess they are. The newer ones are Dakota-based, huh? Because they have the 6-bolt pattern. I hope it goes well, cool. Mexican spec.
That would be cool. Yeah, Studebaker, South Bend, Indiana. Okay, I've interrupted you again. I'm sorry.
Danny Boyd says, Jeff on Elderly Iron says, like at. Okay. I'll notice it next time I watch. Like, there it is. I forget that there's accents unless it's really, really startling. You know, there's some people that their accents are really thick. And I say a lot. Is that accent based, or is that just me being...
What's my nervous thing I do? You get the camera, we're doing shorts, and you go, and sometimes you go, and we catch it in the short. You go like that, and what's the first words out of my mouth? Almost always. I'm trying to remember it's some nervous little thing I do. I go like...
All right.
I go like, okay, is that what it is?
Yeah.
I always say that, and I say, why do I say that?
Oh, a 63 Avanti Danny Boyd got to drive.
One of the first front ends I rebuilt in the
Is that what this car is that we're looking at?
No, I could find an Avanti. That's a Cord, Westchester. Yeah, one of the first front ends I rebuilt was with the boss, and when I was 17 years old, we rebuilt the front end on an Avanti, and I didn't do it. I helped with it. Oh, you're gonna find an Avanti?
That's my job. I take it seriously.
Swap to Avantis.
Avanti. Interesting.
Yeah, it's quite a car.
Oh, I like this black one. I don't know why in particular.
Oh, it's good view. It shows the original round headlights like they were, and I mean a lot of times the original body style is the best one, and then as they as the years go on and they embellish it, sometimes they ruin them.
Mexican specs that people from California, like Buff and I, don't have accents. What happened to the rest of you? You have California accents.
We have the accent that stretches from, it's not really like the Valley Girls in LA. That's kind of a little separate enclave. It's like from Phoenix, Arizona, all the way up to Seattle, Washington. It's all the same accent, and I call it the California TV accent. It's like what news reporters how they read the news, and the people that mostly the people on TV shows, but there's some exceptions.
Dougster's trying to trip me up. Olive drives the car to the bar, then park at Harvard Yard, then bar to Lobster. Ah,
Jeez.
man. Is it wrong to speak in someone else's accent?
I don't know.
All
We
right,
do
we're
it.
not
We
woke.
do it. We do it with Pittsburgh. I don't think that's woke at all. Um, like when I was first up in Northeast
We
Ohio,
do change letters in the words, Mexican spec. We didn't listen. I
he
used to
says
say Keller.
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 What's Keller?
Well, this is orange and black. See? That's
Yeah.
what color it is.
Oh, I never heard that before. I never noticed. What I noticed when I got to Northeast Ohio is somebody's going to go by, and the boss's wife was she was from Detroit, and she says we're going to go buy some pap. It sounded like PAAP, pap. What she meant was soda pop.
Pap.
And I was like,
Oh, yeah,
I
people
was
do
like,
call
you've
it
got to
pap.
be kidding. I
Pap.
just couldn't even understand what she was saying, but I got it after.
We did call it pap.
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 Can we speak like
Would you
teachers
like some
taught us?
pap? Pap?
We teach like teachers. We speak like teachers taught us. Jones, hey, you know what? I'm not sure the teachers even teach it right anymore. You should read well, you probably do read some of my comments. People write things that it's like I read it and it's like, where did you go to school? Oh, it's like, man.
Lester LeSabre is here. Welcome to the stream. Lester says hello, Buff and Kim and all. Greetings all around. And so we have this magical green screen. We do not have that in the shop, but
It's
what
magical.
we do have in the shop is we now have a multi-screen setup in the shop and a multi-cam setup coming together in the shop. I worked my butt off yesterday.
You know,
Pulling things off the shelf.
I went up there late.
Dragging things all around.
She says the shop's
organizing things.
She says the shop's gonna be a mess, and it was a little bit because
it's blown up.
She pulled a lot of stuff out, but when I got over to that area where we do the videos, man, it looks like a little studio.
There's
in the
about
shop.
5 extra feet of studio space in the corner now, so that we can work on the car, and I can hammer over here and not be like right on top, and I don't have to keep carrying my laptop computer back and forth.
There's new monitors and everything works.
And things should not freeze up because it's a desktop computer is more capable for that kind of thing when you have lots of peripherals. And so that's going good. And I've got a couple more cables for cameras in the mail. We should have a zoom lens.
You have what?
Some cables to make things
I thought
work
you
a
said
little better.
I was like spaced out. I thought you said cameras. I'm going, where's that money coming from? Okay. It's Buff. With that voice, you should have been an announcer, narrating movies and commercials. My voice?
It takes decades to age the voice to vocal perfection. He's been practicing. Speaking from the
I've been told my voice is too deep and I sound like I'm gruff.
Sometimes he does sound.
How come you're so angry all the time? And I'm like, I don't know.
The later in the evening it gets, the deeper his voice gets, until it's so low that I can't really hear what he's saying. It just sounds like a rumble. Don't do that with the camera.
That's not a camera.
You know what I mean.
It's a microphone. Let's see, where are we at? The pictures of Vonnie's. Hello, Mr. Lott. Okay, we're from the temperate climate. Maybe the extreme cold freezes your mouth to mispronounce words. Yeah, like when I first got to South Dakota, the woman says that we had this little apartment on the back of the house where we lived, and there were some students lived in there. But we got our mail all in the same mailbox. We didn't know that yet. And the woman that was there, the realtor, says, "Oh, you have to get those boys their meal." Meal? My mother thought she had to cook for them. It was their mail.
John Hart is here. Says, I love the pictures of the Avantis. Welcome to the stream, John. Good to have you here. And Model 64 Avantis had square headlights. Is he right?
They did go to the headlights weren't square, but the bezel was square. And I didn't think it looked as good as the original.
Let's
64?
see what it looks like. They did change it.
See that? And I think in 64, I thought it looked cool. But looking back on it, I'm going, the The original looked pretty good, you know.
Almost imperceptible. You wouldn't know the change if you weren't looking. Oh, this one's wrong.
That was a 60. Oh, it's a 63
That's
and
a
4.
63, and there's a 64. You could see
And if you look at the later ones that were Avanti Motor Company after Studebaker was done with it, they put the rectangular headlights in there, and that really looked wrong. But anyway,
Mostly Old Parts and Rust is our announcer at No Name Nationals. He says, I took Gladys, my Roadrunner, out for a cruise the other night. Unfortunately, the starter drive. Unfortunately, the starter drive gear left the chat. Had to push start it to get home. Well, at least you have a manual transmission. You can push start it, because
hey,
otherwise you'd be stuck.
The old 56 and 57 Fords, where was the pump? It was in the back, so the drive shaft drove it. So you know what would happen? You push start them. They're automatics. You just push them up to about 15 miles an hour and
they would go
low gear, and boom, off you went.
Darn.
They quit putting rear pumps in transmissions. You know,
well, yeah,
it's probably an extra thing they didn't want to. The tow truck drivers maybe paid for that.
I lost some. Okay. Mostly Old Parts. Why can't I think of the man's name right now? I know his channel. I know who he is, but I can see his face, but his name's not coming. Anyways, did you get a new starter? Did you break down and put a gear reduction mini starter in, or are you going with a factory style? They said you look and sound like Wilford Brimley. He hawked diabetes supplies on TV too. Well,
I don't hawk diabetes.
I don't think he looks a lot like. If you really look side by side, I'll just pull him up. I don't think that you look like that man. I think if I bring him up, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, you don't look anything like him." Oh, I better be careful here.
What?
Oh, I'm pushing the wrong button.
Pushing the wrong button. Oh, you're on. Oh yeah. Yeah, my mouth had to be much smaller and my mustache fatter, and then I had to shorten the mustache up, put a stupid hat on, or a different hat on. Yeah, I don't know. Do I look that bad?
I mean, you're right here, right beside it. What do you think? I don't know. I think that's. Let's go back to the Avantis.
I've never seen my picture right next to this before.
I push started my 1963 Fury once with a 727. I'll be darned, I did not.
Did they have rear pumps? I didn't know they had rear pumps.
I don't think a 727 does.
Well, they must have if he did it.
They run Avanti on the Bonneville Salt. I did not know that, Dougster.
Oh, you know, back in the beginning of the Avanti, it was Andy Granatelli ran a supercharged, which was a stock engine at the time. I think he went 171 miles an hour, which was, I think, a record at the time for a stock built car.
Okay.
On the salt flats.
That's amazing.
Oh.
Rob's Rods and Streetcars says, howdy, everybody. Buff and Kim, welcome to the chat, Rob. So I try not to miss people. That's why I was interrupting you.
Oh, go ahead. I interrupted. Oh, Daddy's Money Garage push started their Fury. Yeah, and that's a 65 Fury, so that's,
I'm skipping some comments. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she's scrolling back because we.
Well, you guys are allowed to call.
Yeah, let's go. Just
socialize in the chat, but I apologize if we can't keep up with it all. Whew. Okay.
It says, oh yes, the 63 Fury 727 does have a rear pump. It was a surprise to me. It must have been up through 65 too, and I don't know when they quit doing that. I remember when I was a kid, we always push started. We had a 56 Ford, it had dead battery. My dad rolled it down a hill and started it. He says, you got to be going 20 miles an hour though. But my experience is more like about 12 to 15 miles an hour.
You got to build line pressure.
They'd start. Absolutely buff. What's absolutely buff? Absolutely buff something. Not airplane centric. It went over my head. What is this? What is this? I missed something.
What?
I don't know. I'm reading stuff that references things back up the chat somewhere, so I'm lost. I'm sorry.
All right.
It just said they're like Mexican spec says I'm not airplane centric. It went over my head, and I'm not even sure what the comment was about because I missed it. Because we were talking about accents and saying like Alan Drab says "ka." Yeah, I got one of my best friends lives just north of Boston, and he was a Snap-on dealer up there. But yeah, he speaks with he grew up in California, but he spent most of his life in the Boston area, so he definitely has some of it, but it's a mixed accent. But
Ron Ward will once
oh,
again
Ron
be
Ward.
our now announcer for the No Name Nationals, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. And he is mostly old parts and Russ. And he replied to my question, yes, new starter on order and should be here tomorrow. I knuckled down and bought a made in USA starter for it. Yes, it's a mini starter to clear the headers on the 440. Nice.
Did we do a video on that? I think we did. I don't remember
The difference
publishing it.
between the two
The old
starters?
starters and the new mini starters. I remember doing the video. I don't remember putting it up.
You didn't like the video. Yeah, I think we did. I think we did.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't get a lot of
If
views on
not,
it
I
for
could.
some
Yeah,
reason.
if not, I could do a short
We
on
could
it.
do
But
it again. The
yeah,
difference between the two starters, maybe. Okay, I'm jumping down here.
yeah. Go ahead, jump. Jump.
Okay, yeah, we're here. Paul Senior. I think he sees he probably sees that as more of a compliment than Wilford Brimley. I think.
Paul Senior's why I let the mustache go down further because I thought it looked pretty good, and I just let it creep down. It used to be really short, and I just like every time I shaved, I just let it go down a little bit. Yeah, I wish my mustache was. He really has some thick hair, but and mine isn't. But yeah,
I don't think you look like him though. You
no,
have
I
his
don't. I don't.
mustache
But
thing, but you don't look like him.
and that when I moved to Tennessee, I had this big scruffy looking beard. I was really getting to the point where I hated it, and I just shaved it off, left the mustache, and I let it get longer and longer. It was Paul Senior. It was the hillbilly look that I kind of like in Tennessee, and I'll just be part of it. I'm comfortable with it, I guess.
Junkyard D, welcome to the stream. He says, hey all, just jumping in for a minute. And Junkyard D says, also maybe Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan did all
Yeah,
this
brother.
dark and Hulk Hogan.
You need a American
dude.
flag wrapped around your head.
He's a big
You
dude.
can go, yeah, brother.
I wanted to go back up to lot burns there. 49 to 55 Olds had the dual range hydro rear pump. Those are pretty good transmissions. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Randy Latham is here. Hello, y'all. Welcome to the stream, Randy. Randy, are you the man that I met today? Because that brings up some history of the day that I have not discussed yet.
I missed whatever that is.
He was out. He was up all night, and then he was asleep, and I had to come and do stuff by myself today.
Can you hold that thought while I answer another question here before it disappears? KJ Kiley says, what were the differences in the Avanti 2? The Avanti 2 was made a man, I think he was a Studebaker dealer, but I'm not sure, bought all the leftover parts and pieces and the rights to build the Avanti. But of course, there were no more Studebaker engines.
Keep going.
He put Chevy engines in them. But to do that, they had to raise the nose up a little bit. And I know the Avanti 2s set a little higher in the front end, so you notice that right away because they don't set quite right. And they had the rectangular headlights up front later, but not right at the beginning. They were all, I think, pretty much custom built cars. You ordered it, and you get it, and it was the color you wanted. And they were slow progression. They updated them as they went on, but the main differences were the General Motors running gear. General Motors, they got rid of what were those steering gears the Studebakers had? They were like a Worman, what they call that thing? Worman roller, Worman sector or something. Not even a worm. It was a something something in lever. Really, really terrible steering gears. And they put a Saginaw recirculating ball and nut steering gears in them. I think they got rid of. I know they got rid of the kingpins and trunnions and went to ball joints. It's really an updated car, but I used to really like it. But really, I mean, the original one looked right.
All right. Can I
So
go
anyway,
on to
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
thing?
Go ahead.
All right. So on to my thing. All right. So Mr. Randy Latham is this is first time here, and he's not part of the No Name Nationalist community. Although maybe we could twist his arm, but make him feel welcome. I met him today. He is the mechanic at West Side Automotive. Oh, I'll make us big so you could see. At West Side Automotive here in Clarksville.
West Side.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
That was the name of the parts store across the street from my shop in California.
he was over, you know where Rural King is?
Yes.
You make the left there, go up past the Walmart. Oh man, I made myself bleed. Scratching myself.
Scratch yourself with that card?
Yes. It's sharp. But anyways, Randy was fantastic. He let me jabber on for probably half an hour, and he has we worked out a deal for some parts that you are not aware of yet. I didn't see, but I took some photographs.
You left when I fell asleep, and you went somewhere, and you met this guy and bought some parts.
I know. I met a man. I met a man about a motor. Let's see.
More stuff.
Okay, so here is oh, I gotta be over here to do this.
Yeah. Too many switches.
He was great. I really enjoyed talking to him, and yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm struggling a little bit here to make the screen do what I want it to. There we go. There we go. There we go. I'm getting it now. Okay, that's my mini bike, but we're gonna go on to other things. Here we go. It's another mini bike. That is a 904 transmission. And you'll notice from the high starter position, it is for a slant 6. And that is a slant 6. From a 67 Barracuda. And it is pretty much mostly all the things to make a slant 6 with an automatic transmission go.
You bought that today?
I did. I bought it today. Aren't I a sucker? But Randy was great. He was really friendly.
I fall asleep. She goes and buys an engine. I don't even know about it.
That's what you get. Tim, welcome to the stream. So this, we have to figure out where this is going. And I took some pictures of some potential places. There's some more motor pictures. There's another motor picture.
Now you see the inside of the van. Oh, and
I went out there. I thought Randy had a Super 6 intake manifold for me.
Kitsy Fluff, hello. We missed you there coming in. Go ahead.
He had pictures of a Super 6 intake manifold, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm going to get it." Right? But by the time I got there, he had already sold it. He was like, "Oh yeah, I sold that." I was like, "All right. Well, let me see what you got." So he suckered me into buying this old motor. But he did throw in a couple of carburetors that won't fit because we don't have the 2-barrel intake. But there, now remember when we were looking for a carburetor, and now we are.
Now we have them after I put the Ford.
We could
on.
put the slant 6 in the Subaru. Huh? No
in
takers.
The back maybe.
No takers on putting a slant 6 in the Subaru. We'll just sell that Subaru. This truck, the motor is pretty. And the transmission is so we could make a slant 6 powered 2nd gen Dodge truck. That would be interesting. What was I thinking? Ramacuda. I just like the name. I don't know if I really want to do it, but Ramacuda sounds interesting. We've got a Ford.
Oh, there's a rat rod.
Yeah. It's a Ranger, and we're putting the engine from a Cuda. We could call it a Danger. Danger? Huh?
Where Where's the
It
D
doesn't
come
have an
from?
engine, and that transmission is bad, so we could do that. Nobody's even paying attention to what I said. They don't care. They're just talking about
See,
accents and AI and
I think he said Weird Al, and I thought he said Weird AI at first, but I think it's Weird Al, like
owner of an
Yankovic.
old Dodge Dart. Do 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 do. Um, oh, man, you guys are all right.
We're
And
talking about
then
Studebaker trucks.
I got a 300 Z car. It's got a motor in it, but I don't know anything about the motor that's in it, and I assume if it was a really good motor that they wouldn't have sold it. I don't know. I've never heard it run. I've got two motors for this car, but I'd rather work on a Slant 6 because I know how to make one of those run. And this is a cool car. It's got T-tops and everything. It would be neat. Anybody takers? Anybody? No? It would, wouldn't it? Mostly old parts. And this car has a 5-speed transmission. I'll bet I could mate it to a Slant 6 with the bell housing that I have. No? I bet I could.
Open up the hood, and that'd be worse than my Dodge Dart with
It wouldn't fit under the hood.
it'd
We'd
be-
have to have a big
It's
bulge.
a worse swap than the Dodge Dart that had the Pontiac Iron Duke in it.
No, that's better. That's better. I see. They
So you
like
put
the
a slant
300.
in the 300. No, you put your 360 in the 300. That'd go.
Um, or there's the Lost Fire. We had always put a motor in the Lost Fire. It doesn't have any wires, so we'd be starting like sort of fresh.
You know what's good about that car? The mice won't eat the wires.
That's right. The mice
they're
don't
cooked.
even want it.
They're cooked.
They only like raw wires.
They only like
Lester
raw
LeSabre says he had an 86 300ZX and it was a complicated car. Some of the things that I've seen about those 300s is that they were ahead of their time, so much so that they were like kind of on the bleeding edge of technology, and then that stuff failed and it was just insane.
She calls it a lost fire.
Yeah,
He
but
calls it a
cross
cross
fried.
fried.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like that. And then the Dakota is just sneaking around in the background there. It's just got a little bitty 4-cylinder, but I think that when it's running properly, that little 4-cylinder puts out the same amount of horsepower as a Slant 6,
That thing's running
and
great.
it weighs about 200 pounds less than the Slant 6. So I think if we change anything in the Dakota, we'll be putting a V8 in it.
The Dakota's so good because you put a carburetor on it and you put a distributor with points.
It's got like one wire for the whole thing to run.
And it runs great. Made an adapter from the what do you call it, throttle body, so a carburetor will fit on it, and got a distributor from a Volkswagen. But you saw, if you were here, you saw that all on a live one night. She got it started.
What year is the Dakota? Forget if it's
89.
89.
I
Okay,
think
that
so.
sounds about right. It has a K car motor in it, a little 4-cylinder. Are you having a yard sale? Everything's for sale.
Well, not quite.
No? What's not for sale?
I don't want to sell that Jeep. I don't want to sell the Mazda.
Oh yeah, that copper colored Jeep Patriot up there in the
Of course, I don't know. The right money, I probably would.
Yeah, you better, because we need a fireplace this winter. We'll see. We'll see. We'll figure it out. So yard sale, yes and no. We might be having a fire sale though. I mean, half the vehicles we own have been on fire, I think.
Really?
The 5-lug wheels are excellent because it's a 5 on 4.5-inch bolt pattern, and it's the Ford bolt pattern, so you can put a lot of wheels on there. There's lots and
Really?
lots of wheel options.
It's
Yeah.
like Ford, AMC, Studebaker, all that stuff.
And
fits.
that year of Dodges had with the 5-bolt. Dougster Wolverine Garage, Kim not for sale, nor Buff. Yes,
Oh yeah,
really.
we can't sell people.
Yeah, that's against YouTube terms of service. So no, people are not for sale. So that was a really, really lengthy explanation of how I met Randy and what I did today. Drag more junk home.
So you bought that.
I got another slant 6.
At least he cut off the pipe and not the manifold. Yeah,
Well,
that's. Look, and we got an air cleaner.
that's the same one that like the one I cut up. That's on the
Oh,
car
yeah,
now.
okay, so it won't fit under the hood of.
Yeah, it's just a 1-barrel manifold. That's okay.
Use that Crossfire engine for a badass go kart.
So, the thing about that Crossfire engine, all the wiring is burned up. So I would have to, and you got to think, that's like the computer is gone. The engine itself, though, isn't really
I
damaged.
think the engine's okay.
Yeah, like the manifold and the valve covers are maybe melted, but I could probably get those things. But without all the sensors and wiring, I would have to do like I did with the Dakota and just invent an ignition system, like run one of those reluctors off the camshaft, one of the cams to make it fire. And I could do that. It would cost me almost $200. So I probably won't. I'll probably just throw it in a ditch. And then the transmission is going to be transmission is going to be all computer controlled, and I really don't know how to override all that. Um, so I may just see if I can sell some parts from that motor, like the short block and the transmission, just to fund some other projects, because I don't know that it is a pretty steep learning curve to learn how to modify a motor that doesn't have any wiring harness. So it took me quite some time to figure out how to wire up the Dakota for a distributor and a carburetor, because they never sold them with those things. So I had to invent something.
Yeah, Crossfire is more Mercedes than it's Chrysler. Yep. You know why she
Yeah.
bought that? Because the front disc brakes, and because we pulled that whole independent suspension out of the back, and she figured out how to narrow it. We're gonna back half her Dart and put that independent suspension under it. But No Name National's coming right up. The rear end. I mean, we did it all on. There's videos of it. That rear end's ready. It's narrowed, but back half in the Dart's a lot of work. We're not going to get that done before No Name National, so we just stuck the Ford rear end under it.
So the reason Randy had a spare Slant 6 lying around is because he has a customer with a 67 Barracuda, and that customer wants a little more actionable engine.
His card.
And so they found a donor vehicle, which I think was a 74. What's Plymouth version of a Dart in 74?
That would have been a Valiant.
It was still a Valiant. Okay. So he has the Valiant up on stands, and he's got the entire drivetrain, K-frame engine, all that stuff out of it. And man, I was like, oh, look at that car. I could do stuff with that car. But it is a mountain of work. But we could take that Chrysler 300 front end and stick it up underneath that thing, and take that narrowed rear end that we have from the Crossfire and stick that up underneath that thing. And then I don't know what engine we'd put in it, but it would be something very unique. But the car needs a lot of work. A lot of work. And we weren't able to really, like, he wasn't sure where he was at on price because he's kind of selling parts.
What's his name?
Randy.
That's who's up here. Okay, now I get it.
He was real nice. Maybe
Says he has a drive shaft too.
Oh, that's right. He wouldn't need the drive shaft because the V8 rear end is a different length. Because he was putting 8 1/4 rear end in, and it came out of anyways, different length drive shaft. So he has a drive shaft. I might need the drive shaft. I'm not sure yet. I will let you know. We'll stay in touch, because so that CUDA was really pretty. It wasn't perfect, but it was really pretty.
How far out there is he? It says on Dover Road.
Not
so
far.
Okay.
Like where the little Walmart there is on Dover.
Mm-hmm.
He's like an intersection and a half beyond.
Oh, he's not like
5 minutes
Dover Road.
that.
You could go like
Yeah,
12 miles on Dover Road.
No,
Okay.
he was still kind of in city limits, I would say. But they don't understand where that is. But
No, I'm just wondering. Yeah, that's easy to get over
and
there.
He had a nice little place, and I would trust him to service my vehicle if he were available because I don't think he has a whole big crew of people working there. But anyways, support local business if you are able. If you not, I know most of you are not anywhere near Clarksville.
Um, Paul is here. Good evening.
Oh, yeah, welcome, Paul. Lotburn says there's a nice Crossfire convertible down the road from here asking 12K. 12K is a little steep, but it depends on the mileage and condition. You're always buying somebody else's
And then,
maintenance.
and then you really got to like that, That's
Yeah.
like was said here. It's more Mercedes than Chrysler, so it's I don't know. I guess it's a
For
Mopar.
12, it would have to be a really special like example of a Crossfire because
I
they don't go that high in the used market that
I
I've seen.
guess it's a Mopar, but kind of an odd thing.
I mean, technically, it's a Mopar because they own Chrysler, or because of the merger there. But yeah, most purists would tell you that a Mercedes is not
You
a
know, a
Mopar.
friend of mine had a Mercedes with one of these 500 something horsepower engines, and he'd go to a Mopar show, and he had Mopars too, and he'd drive in with that, and they wouldn't let him display it, and he'd go, "Wait a minute, look right here," and he's pointing to the tag on the door, because it says right here, Daimler Chrysler, and they still wouldn't let him in the show. He had to pay and be just walk around, not show his car.
Yeah,
He
Lester,
was really upset about that.
that was a depreciated. I think it was the 320 model Mercedes, and the last year of the Mercedes convertible of that design was reskinned by Chrysler into the Crossfire.
That's basically it, I think.
Oh no, it's absolutely what happened.
Yeah. uh, bad joke.
Uh-oh.
That thing looks like a dog out there. You know what dogs look like when they're gonna take a dump? That's kind of what a Crossfire looks like. Back end's kind of like this.
They're a very wide track car with
Yeah,
staggered wheels. Their performance from the they were, they were pretty racy for a convertible when they were new.
I know a guy in Yuma that
Compared to like a LeBaron convertible.
he was really into him. He had like a fleet of a small fleet of Crossfires. He just thought they were great.
Okay.
So I guess there's people that like them. I don't know. They're okay, I guess. I like that one because it's a good parts car and you got it cheap.
I mean, we already got our money's worth of parts out of it, and yeah.
That was probably the toughest car we went to go get because the interior was all melted. Did they have a key? Oh no, you
There
had to
was
break
no key.
you had to break the
I had to
ignition,
bash the ignition out
and
with a
then
hammer.
the center was so melted you couldn't get it out of park. She had to break all that plastic to get it out of park so
And the
it would
people who
roll.
sold it to me, they were like, "What's she doing?" And I was covered in dirt because it was all burned up. So like you start working and it just gets all over you. It stunk, and it was the middle of summer. It was like 100 degrees. I'm there with like a hammer, just bashing the dashboard in so I can get the key out and get the steering column loose. And the steering is just steel wire, like everything is all melted off of it.
You know what was good about that one? There's a big chunk of sheet metal there, a big piece of sheet metal. It had a little bit of a bend in it,
Oh,
but
that piece of white metal.
I look at that and I go, "What are you gonna do with that?" They said, "You can have that if you want." Man, I threw that in the van right away because sheet metal is worth something. We'll use that. Yep.
Dexter says he would like a 69 Mercedes with a 6.5 engine displacement V8. Guys would drag race them and win. I'll bet.
I was on 101, US 101 in California, near a place called King City, and there's a big long straight stretch there. And I was in my 64 Ford rolling along about 100 miles an hour, which of course I wasn't supposed to be doing that, but there's a Mercedes coming up behind me, and and he's gonna pass me. So I roll into it. I'm up to like 130, and this guy in this Mercedes just whoa goes by me, and it was one of those. I think it said 6 point. I thought they were 6.7. Wasn't the 6.9? It was something else. That thing just rolled by me, and I had my foot in it. It just that 351 would make that car go, but that Mercedes just rolled past me.
A good Mercedes is no joke.
I just
They're fast cars.
just drove away from me. I can't imagine how fast he was going that big old Mercedes.
Lot Burns used to have a fleet of AMC Eagles. I remember the AMC Eagles. I've had one
Your
or more of those in
your
our
pa-
family.
your parents had
My
those things,
mother
didn't they?
had one and my grandmother had one. Although my grandmother had the one that the back end was kind of down
Oh,
and
so it wasn't an Eagle. It was a Spirit.
yeah, it was a Spirit. I'm going to bring it up cuz let's see. 86 AMC Spirit.
So they
Is that
were.
probably the right year? Oh, that's the one.
So how were those things in the snow? I always thought they'd be great, but I don't know if they were. Oh, that's a Barracuda.
There it is.
There we go.
They were not so hot.
Really,
in
I
the
would
snow.
expect they'd be really good because they were four-wheel drive, but maybe not.
Oh no. Hers was not 4-wheel drive.
Oh, so
A
hers is
4-wheel drive one was very
so,
capable vehicle.
so hers was a Concorde or a Spirit.
No,
See,
Concorde is like a sedan.
no, they made wagons, Concorde. See that down there in the lower right-hand corner?
Yeah,
Yeah, see, those are four-wheel drive.
that's an Eagle.
Oh, that's. Oh,
The
okay,
Spirit's
okay.
like this
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
blue
I know
one.
what the Spirit is. Yeah, but the Eagles, I thought the
Hers was
Eagles were four-wheel
was
drive, but
tan.
maybe the Eagles weren't all four-wheel drive. I don't know. I thought they were.
The Eagles were the best ever, and I tested them. Good job, Lot Burns. Who had one? What was the really fancy model that was like an Eagle with the all-wheel drive, but it was more the sporty one?
He rebuilt a Slanty from an Eagle that had 650. All had dishes in them, still ran poorly, but ran.
650,000 miles.
What Eagle had a slant six in it?
It wouldn't have had a slant six.
I can't imagine that.
No, it
or
would have
slant
been
something else.
251 or something like that. What was this 250? What
What,
was the AMC motor that was
258?
258?
Yeah, I had my Matador at 258. They had 232 and 258, and then later I think they used the Iron Duke, and then they had their own four-cylinder.
Oh, the SX4 is the sporty hatch one.
Oh, okay.
Those are cool. I've seen. I think Pole Barn Garage did a revival on one a while back, and it's like.
I remember I was in near. I was just north of Denver in 1980. Actually, it was between Christmas of '79 and New Year's, and I had friends there, and I met all these people, and several of them had brand new Eagles, and they would go anywhere in the snow. They were a great car, but I can't believe they didn't sell more of them. Yeah, 258. I like the 258 engine. I never had problems with it.
It's a reliable power plant.
And that's the engine that morphed into the 4.0 Jeep engine that everybody likes.
Oh, really? Is it like off the same dies, or is it just?
I think the lower end's the same, but I'm not sure. The head's different. I don't know. It's like it was like that's what the engineer started with, was that basic design. How about the AMC Cowboy? Oh man, not many people know about that.
I've never heard of an AMC Cowboy.
It's like a Ranchero or like an El Camino, and there were only like one or two. Yeah, there you go. Oh, I love that car. But see, it had a separate bed like a pickup truck.
Oh, that was more of a concept vehicle.
It was a concept vehicle. It never went any further. Oh man, yeah, yeah. Many people don't know about that. John Hart having phone problems. I'll continue to watch. 1964 Hot Rod magazine took a 64 GTG to Germany and got schooled on the Autobahn by Porsches and Mercedes. I don't know what a GTG is.
I don't know, but maybe GTO.
Oh, it could be.
But yeah, the Porsches and the Mercedes would whoop the skin off of an American muscle car like in factory form. Like you really would have to make some upgrades to keep up. The
The
Eagle we
tan one,
rebuilt looks like the tan one by Buff Shoulder.
that was on the last picture you had
Oh
up.
yeah, that's
You have
probably.
to
I can go back,
flick
maybe.
to back to the last. Tan one by my shoulder. This one?
I remember the old wood grain ones. Like,
Wood grain.
yeah, like this one right between us.
It just cracked me up. They put wood stickers on station
Ah,
wagons.
yeah, they had fun.
I want to get one of bricks. Put brick sticker.
Well, Randy had a 1970 AMX with a 401, and that thing was fast. I'll bet
Well,
you.
the 70 was still a little short two-seater. That was a pretty good, that's a pretty nice car, you know.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
those things.
we like an AMC AMX. That's
Yeah,
a
the
good muscle car.
68, 9, and 70 AMXs were two-seaters, and
And
they
you
were
don't
nice.
ever see like a lot of them. Like if you go to a place where there's like a muscle car meetup, usually there's not more than one AMX if there is one. So but they're just really cool.
Yep. See the light blue one over there? I guess they all have the scoop. You can just see it well on the light blue on that hood scoop. There's a red Matador that somebody blended one of those scoops into it. It looks really good on the Matador, but they never came on the Matador. But it looked like something AMC would do and looked good. My friend's father worked for AMC and he helped design the Ramble seat. Man, that's another concept car. You know what a rumble seat is?
Yeah.
Okay, it was either an AMX or a Javelin, but they had a thing in the back that was a rumble seat, and they called it a ramble seat. And where is it? No, those are the folding seats. Put up ramble seat and see what you come up with. Or did you?
Is it this one? The Rambles Recline?
No. That's all the Ramblers had reclining seats. No, it's outside the car.
What?
It's a rumble. You know what a rumble seat is? Like where the trunk opens backwards and the people sit in the trunk.
What year?
I don't know. Just put ramble seat. You'll find it. Ramble. Ramble. Ramble
I
seat.
already did, and it came up with all
That's
this garbage.
see. There's a rumble seat, an old Ford.
I see it there.
Okay, so where's the ramble? Did you put? How did you spell ramble? Was that it?
Ramble seat? Oh, is this
There
it?
you go. Yeah, that was
You guys every week
that
do
was
not fail to call out something that I have never heard of, never seen, just completely
well,
obscure.
because that was like late 60s, and I was a teenager, and just every concept car, everything, I knew it.
And
And of
Doug,
course, you came in 20 years after that or more, so you didn't know it, of course.
and Dougster's like, yeah, my friend's dad designed that. Like,
That's pretty cool.
okay, well, we're car people.
I
There's no
remember.
doubt about that.
I remember that really well. As soon as he said ramble seat, I was like, oh yeah, that thing. Yep.
That would be windy.
Can you imagine sitting back there?
Ooh.
Are we gonna get this past the safety Nazis?
Yeah. Safety. We don't need to think it's safety.
Oh man. See now, my mother, when she was a kid, her father was a Chevrolet and Grand Page dealer. And dealerships then weren't these enormous multi-billion-dollar organizations. There was just a little garage on a corner in New York City, and there were two people in there. There was a part-timer that detailed cars, and then my grandfather was the salesman, the mechanic, the owner. He did everything. So he had Chevrolets and Grand Pages for sale. And they had cars with rumble seats, and my mother used to run around in the rumble seat, and she thought that was great to ride in a rumble seat. So I knew what those were. And when I saw a ramble seat, I thought it was pretty cool. So what are we looking at here? Javelins.
I like this red one. I like how the fenders are sort of like
Got that.
muscly. Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
I was in the Air Force when those came out.
Well, the
I
back
think.
glass flips up like a windshield, and I bet you it's like a spoiler, so it gives you better.
Oh, it's the windshield. Okay, where's this?
I did kind of see that. I didn't realize it stayed up there. Neat.
Gremlin with 390. Man, I had a friend that had a Gremlin with a 429 Ford with a tunnel ram on it, C6 transmission, and 560 or 556 gears in rear end, and that's why I built the Cougar when I did. Same thing, had 556 gears, and he and I'd go out, they were, zero to the end of the block fast cars. Short. Didn't go fast, but man, they snap off the line pretty good. And that Gremlin was fun, but it was yeah. I can imagine a Gremlin with a 390 right off the showroom floor. That had to be fun. Man, that would be fun. That flips up like windshield. Yep, this is okay. I see. I love the RWB 69 Rambler Scrambler was a beast. Yeah, that was another car. I'm not sure what the RWB is. The RWB Javelin. We'll have to find out what that is. See, I thought I knew all this. Well, yeah,
Oh,
that's
I
the
remember
Scrambler.
this car, but it
That's the
looks a lot
Scrambler.
different than like a Javelin or something like that.
It's a AMC Rambler, which was their small car. It was their economy car, and then they put a big ass engine in it and painted it like that. And there weren't many of them, but I mean those things are, yeah, they're a desirable car now. I'm
Oh,
not
red,
sure.
white, and blue.
Oh, red,
RWB.
white, and blue. I see. Yeah, that's what you know how that started was what was his name? He used to race the AMCs. They did the red, the white, and the blue vertical stripes. Oh, I can't think of his name right now. You'd somebody on here will know it. Um, yeah, I watched him race at Ontario Motor Speedway when that was still going, and he raced a Matador. I don't remember if it was a Rebel or a Matador. It's probably 1971. I was there in 71. So that must have been a Rebel then. Spinners on that javelin looked something. Oh yeah, Mark Donahue, exactly. Mark Donahue. I watched him back into turn one at about 175 miles an hour or something. He lost it, and wham, and it just shortened that car. That was in the used to be a race there, a NASCAR race, the Miller High Life 500 mile race. Yep, it was a good race to go. And you know who won that race? Was Richard Petty won that race in a year old Plymouth wing car. And he smoked that engine going right across the finish line. Blew the engine, just smoke pouring out the back of that thing as he took the checkered flag. And he had a pit stop late in the race, and they changed the plugs on one side. And a friend of mine said, he goes, "Yeah, they must have changed the spark plugs on the other side during the last race." But anyway, they were having engine trouble, and they knew it, but he still won the race. And
I'm gonna give you the big screen.
you're gonna give me the big screen?
Okay.
Oh, so I could swap something back in there.
I'm gonna take a momentary break. Do you need anything from the kitchen? I was gonna get myself a
I'm about
beverage.
starved because I didn't get anything to eat because I came in late. But
Well, yeah, but you don't usually like to eat on stream.
no, I don't eat on stream. But
I'm getting a
I
drink.
was gonna eat dinner before we got on here, and you know what happened?
Well, you
I
started
fell
earlier. We don't have to
I
stream super late. We've been
I,
streaming a lot more often.
I fell asleep, and I woke up and went, "Oh God, less than an hour till we start." I had to get a thumbnail up and everything, and
At least you think it's easy to get ready in an hour.
Lot Burns, thank you for the photo I used on the thumbnail tonight. Um,
Oh, here's something that probably will mix up the. How do you get the ice out of your ice cubes trays? Is this unique to anyone? I
Put it
I
behind the microphone.
bend it like this,
That's what I do.
and then I can just grab them right off.
I've never hit it with my hand. I just turn them upside down in a bowl. Crash, out they come. I don't know. 67 Corvair Spider Turbo was fun. Man, weren't those great cars? So I didn't put a Corvair up, but I put a mid-engine car up there. It's so big I can't scroll it around, but
And then if you live with me, you do not put a half-filled ice tray back in the freezer. You take this Ziploc bag of ice, you pour the remaining cubes into the Ziploc there, and then you never put a half-empty ice cube tray back in the freezer because that's just
people I lived with in the
that's
past,
uncivilized.
the people I lived with in the past would put this back in the
That's
freezer with no
uncivilized.
water in it, and then it would just be a frozen tray.
Done, people.
Yeah, X-19 was fun. I had a friend that bought one of those when I was in the Air Force, and he was in the reserves, and he'd drive it back and forth on the weekends, pretty good distance. But what a fun car! Um, now, of course, they're worn out or gone, and you know, they're not a long-lasting car, I guess. But was it? Yeah, Porsche 914 was similar but expensive, and these were, they were not expensive. I really liked them. About the only Fiat I ever really liked. Okay, so let's see. Where's my email? I gotta find my email. Oh, I'm gonna need Kim back. Oh, here, I'm already getting emails. Okay, you gotta bear with me here. Tim has sent.
I don't have anything especially unusual to drink as a beverage tonight. I'm going by my rusty trusty red Powerade. So over ice because it's too strong straight out of the thing.
I am downloading photos.
Oh, did someone send some photos?
Tim sent photos.
Awesome, thank you, Tim.
And then what we have to do is bring them up somehow. Ooh, how do I fix that problem?
If
Oh,
you
that's
weren't
there.
here,
There it is. There it is.
okay. If you weren't here when I was talking about it earlier in the stream, we have been working in the shop,
There we
and
go. You know what that is?
oh, is that Tim's truck?
Yes.
Nice work, Tim.
I interrupt you. I'm sorry.
How many hours did you work on it today? Or well, it would have been yesterday. Did you work on it Monday, like you said you were going to? Not bad. The transmission good? You just put the engine back in? And why did you take the manifold off? Oh, rusty manifolds
See, he's got a
are my
second.
nemesis.
He's got a second picture up here. If I can find my cursor. You ever lose your cursor? Oh, this is the other part of it.
Oh, it looks
Can you make this
A
smaller?
nice 4-barrel intake manifold.
There. Looks just like my engine stand.
Oh, it does look a lot like your engine stand.
It does. And my karate school had one with 200,000 miles, and it ran great. Man, an X19 with 200,000 miles on it. Yeah, so that's Tim's engine.
Great work, Tim.
You're beeping. What'd you cook?
Nothing yet. I'm making you
You just
something.
run in the microwave for the fun of it?
Yeah, I just do that. I just do it.
You say he worked all day on it. He's beat.
Okay. Good work.
What do they call those small block Chevys where they put the valve covers have the bolts that go through the middle of them instead of around the perimeter? That's how my Corvette was, and I really didn't know when that started or why or anything else. Maybe it started with the roller lifters. I don't know. My '87 was the first year for the roller lifters, and it looked like that. Oh, that car's gone. I was living in a place where I couldn't have more than 2 cars. Vortec. That was the Vortec. Yeah, I tried for a year to sell that car, and I had to get rid of it. and there was a guy showed up that didn't have a car, and got real stingy with the rentals, and he was struggling to get around. I said, "Hey, you want a car? I'll give you a car." Took him over to my shop. I said, "Here it is." The guy's got real big, and I had the battery disconnected the battery up, fired it right up. I said, "Drive it around in here. It's the license plates run out, so don't go in the street." And it was a area where you could drive around. So, "You want it?" Signed the title and gave it to him. I said, "You got to put it in your name right now. Get online and do it." And he did. He still got it. He's going to put an LS in it. So he said, all I got to do is go out to Phoenix and I can pick up the original engine and trans. And it had a
All we have to do is drive the Phoenix.
700 R4 that was somebody made it into a nice transmission. And I want to get it.
We'll be back by morning.
Yeah. The center bolt valve covers didn't leak
Oh,
very often.
oh, tell them to put slant
leak?
6 in it.
Slant 6 in a Corvette?
Yeah.
No. I won't have the Corvette. I'll only have the engine. Man, I had problems with those things leaking. You said they didn't leak very often?
I think maybe he's being
Oh, yeah. Mine
sarcasm.
are always leaking. This Corvette has one of those 350. Oh, yeah. Mine was 200. Mine is an 87, so it's 230 horsepower. And it was the first year with the roller lifters. And I remember before that, I think they were 205, and before that, like 185. Yeah. You know
Is
what?
a VTEC some kind of variable?
Vortec?
No, VTEC, like a variable oil.
Oh, Phytec.
Oil pressure pump.
That's the engine that Phytec stuck open, and it's spun a bearing. Ugh. So I guess it's coming apart. Hopefully nothing's beyond repair.
Oh, I didn't know he was repairing it, or if he had another one.
Or you got another engine. I don't know. It'll take me a while to do the videos. Oh, good. You got videos. Man. Yeah, engine hoist that looks just like our. No, mine has one wheel in the center of the small part. That's pretty nice. There's two wheels. It isn't gonna tip over when it's rolling around without the legs on it. Let's see. Some friends of mine, it's an anniversary 70s vet with a Triumph 4-cylinder engine with dual issue carbs. It actually drives really. I thought there's a guy on the internet, and I think it was his father put it was a flathead. I think it was a 6-cylinder flathead Studebaker or AMC engine. I don't remember which it was. And he had it in a Corvette for a while. It was a 68 Corvette. Then he pulled it out and put the original engine back in because he said it was way worse than what he thought it was going to be. There's pictures of it online. You can find that. Maybe you can find that, Kim.
Oh, of what's that?
A Corvette flathead. I think it was a Studebaker engine. Might have been a Rambler engine. 6-cylinder or flathead Corvette. Yeah, see if that comes up. Oh, somebody put a flathead Ford in a Corvette. I never seen that one. Oh, he has a new GM Performance 350. Oh, good. A flathead Ford in a Corvette? You gotta be kidding me. So there's another weird one. That's not. It was a flathead 6. Let's see. Same guys have a 68 Charger with a Jag
Inline 6
6.
swapped into it.
Well,
the hate doesn't stop. I'm sure that's
what's the guy's name that's the car wizard? He's got a car for sale right now. His 66 Chevelle. It's a 4-door hardtop. A hardtop, no B pillars. And he's got a Jaguar. I don't remember if it's a 6 or it might be a V12 in it. I don't remember which it is.
12, yeah.
Okay, can you look up the same thing except put flathead 6?
No, I really don't think I can.
Can I reach over there and do it? Flathead, put flathead Corvette. Not V6.
No.
Who said anything about a V6? You're not gonna find flathead V6. It's flathead. Just put Rambler or something. Oh, that's that orange one?
This one? This one.
That one, I think. What is that? I can't see what it is. Can you zoom in on that somehow so we can see it?
No, not a very.
None of those. It was a yellow one. See that yellow one? I bet that there it is. There it is. The yellow one.
This
Right
one
above
here?
your head, yeah. Okay, scroll back down where you can see it. See that? It's got a flathead 6 in it.
I don't. Oh,
It's got a
oh.
flathead 6 in it.
Ow, it takes me.
Why did you do that? You had it. You had it there and you took it away.
But I
Okay.
can't make that picture any bigger. Why does it say V6 Corvette Forum?
Because idiots. Because people write, because young people think all 6s are V. They put V in front of every engine because they're dumbasses.
Are all
So
young people dumbasses?
I've kind of noticed that a lot, but I guess there's a few of them that are smart. But young people they put V in front of every engine. So they put V6 and you
Well,
look
they
it up.
heard a
Look at
lot
that,
of
a flathead
Vs.
inline 6, they call it a V6. Yeah, Wizards is a V12. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. He put a V12. Sidewinders, good evening. I don't know what you're looking at now. I have no idea what you're searching for.
I'm just looking to see if there was a better picture of the thing.
Well, what it was is the guy put that flathead inline 6 in it. He went out and drove it around. Yeah, that was original engine there. So it was terrible, and he put a small block Chevy or a big block Chevy back in.
Sidewinder Shed is here. Welcome to the stream. I know you already said that. I was looking for Corvette 6-cylinders.
Okay, I've got to go back to my email to see who
All
else.
of them understands. It's not that they're young. It's just they're not car people. They don't know nothing about cars.
Can you do one more thing?
We're off in our own little weird.
Yeah, well, see, now that's an overhead 6. That's a stove bolt. But
there's nothing to show.
The first, I'm waiting.
You want that picture?
I'm waiting for you to put up the my email where to send pictures. No, don't. There's no picture there. Why'd you put that up? Just like yeah. Thanks for trying. What you doing?
Is that it?
Yeah. Okay. So there's the link. You can send. If you send pictures of your projects, cars, garage, your face, whatever, I'll put them up. You don't have to show that blank screen. Why are you showing the blank screen?
These are not the droids you're looking for. Bring something up.
A British engine. Why would you do that to yourself? I don't know.
Right? Like, why would you add that as an option? Like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, I'd like to have that car he has, but he wants too much money for it. But of course that V12 would come out, and I'd probably put my small block Chevy in it.
Dougster Wolverine Garage says his Valkyrie is a boxer style 6, flat 6. That's a horizontally opposed 6-cylinder. So many people call it a V6, and he's given up on correcting them. Or the people who compliment his Harley. Yeah, that's wonderful.
People say 6.
You just smile and
Young people say 6. They just got to put V in front of it because. It's like a 1960 Falcon sitting there with a 144 inline 6. Oh, it's a V6. You just stand there and think, no.
I like when he says no, it's funny.
Where do you see the V? They don't even know what the V means. They just think it goes in front of every 6.
It just means
Okay, so I don't have any more emails yet, but I probably will. Everybody's scrambling right now to
Nuh-uh.
send me a few pictures, I hope.
Nuh-uh. They don't
So,
want to send you
why'd you
pictures.
take the pictures down?
I didn't take the pictures down. That's
No,
your
you could have flipped
screen.
to another screen. You flipped
What
to a
other?
blank. You flipped to a blank screen. What
Well,
else
I
do you
didn't
have?
find the cool Corvette
Oh,
screen.
there's a good screen to have.
I brought up these because this 67 Barracuda is kind of like the one that I saw today at Randy's place.
I like that body style. That's
And,
my favorite, all-time favorite Mopar
and
is
now,
67 through 69 Barracudas.
and that is my plot to gather all the slant sixes. They will be mine.
So where are you gonna put that six? Where are you gonna put that slant six?
Wherever I want. You know what though? It does bring me joy. Just the fact that I have another slant six. I don't know
We
why.
could put two of those sixes
Barracuda.
and make
That's
a
right. It's
make
the
a V.
heart of the Barracuda.
We could make a V12.
Have it now.
We could take two of those slant sixes and turn one of them around backwards and make it a V12.
No, no.
Of course, it would not have a common crankshaft.
No, no, we could not. I guess we could. And we could have a chain drive off the two. That would have to be a really long vehicle.
What to have them next to each other?
No, to have them end to end.
Oh yeah, that would be slant 12. Yeah, that would be
12.
I
think it would be better to be side by side.
That's right, and then you'd have a V.
And then you have a chain drive of some sort.
One drive shaft going forward and one going backwards.
No, because then you'd have they'd be going in opposite directions. Then you'd need
Oh,
gears.
you're right. They'd fight each other. That'd be a great burnout car.
No.
One car burning two different directions.
It wouldn't be slant 12. I don't think it's ever going to happen. The slant 12. I think it.
Actually, I looked closely at that car that Car Wizard has.
Yeah.
It has some rust in it that I wouldn't want to have to deal with. It's actually worse than I thought it was. Buddy Carfano had a young kid at a parts store that Buick 350 and Chevy were. I think 350 and Chevy were the same. Yeah. Yep. And Buddy, good evening. How do you pronounce this name? Carafano. Carafano? Carafano? Kim?
I don't know.
What happened to you?
He'd have to tell
good
us.
evening.
Welcome to the stream.
Yeah,
is this your first time here? I don't remember saying your name.
Yep, I think so.
Cool. Glad you found us.
I've had people think that the 327 AMC and the 327 Chevy are the same. They think the Chevy engine's in the old AMC cars, but AMC had a 327 cubic inch engine long before Chevrolet did. Completely different engine. Okay, here we go. Okay, now I just got a picture of an Olds Omega. I'm going to download it and show it on the screen, but there's a name on here, and I need to know who sent this so I don't use your real name.
Well, is it Paul?
Could be. Just.
Was he here? When was the last time I saw anything from him?
No, I think it's different.
Julie?
I just asked who it was so we could find out who it was.
Okay. Just tell us who it is. Lot Burns has a question for the team. Who's the team? Is that chat? Or is that me and me?
That's a nice big picture. Nice big high resolution picture.
Oh yeah, it is. Wow, that's gorgeous. Okay, it is Paul's.
Oh, okay. Because your name when people send emails with pictures, please put your screen name on there, because sometimes it'll say something like,
we figured it out.
Jeffrey, and it's like somebody else. Okay.
Lot Burns asked the question, what engine would you put in a Barracuda other than an original? And we'll get back to that. We'll think about it, because we're looking at this car. What is this car?
That's an Olds Omega. which is
Oh,
a
an Omega.
which
Yeah.
is like a Nova. That's
But the better front end.
one of my favorite cars is that body style. And I don't care if it's a Nova or a Ventura or a 1 year
Oh,
74
right. It does
GTO
look just like a Ventura.
or a GTO for 1 year or what was the Buick? I can't remember what the Buick was or the old Omega. And that's a really nice one.
That's a
What
beautiful
engine do you have
car.
in that? And that's the other thing. GM engines are like all of them bolt into it. So what engine do you have in it? Oh wow, 360 Ford, 360 Mopar, 360 AMC, all three used in Jeep Cherokees. The Ford was? I don't remember that. All three are different. Very confusing. Yeah, they're different.
In a Jeep Grand Cherokee, a 364. What years were a 364 used in a Jeep Grand
Okay,
Cherokee?
you got a 350 Olds. Oh yeah, Buick, right? Buick Apollo is the other
Oh,
like
all of
no
them.
Nova like
They all
is the one
use the
from
same.
Buick.
What is the platform called? What letter or designation does that platform have?
Man, I had those. I had Novas, and I always wanted a Ventura or a '74 GTO, and I just, they're getting old. They're getting hard to find. People want a lot of
They're
money for
around.
them.
People want money for them
People
unless they're
want
all
huge
roached
money.
out.
They want huge money for them, and then you go look at them, and they're like no floors, and and then the frame bolts the floor, and it's all falling off. It's like you got to be kidding me. This is you should pay me to tow this piece of junk away.
Yeah, there's a difference between a restorable car and a lump of scrap metal.
Yeah, you see, it says ready for restoration. When I see that, oh yeah, the X body. I should have known that. Yeah, that one's really nice. It's in the '80s. We had three in the shop at the same time. Man,
Oh wow! Sidewinder Shed had 3 Jeep Grand Cherokees. All of this. I can't think of a Ford 360 in a Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Nova, Omega, Ventura, Apollo, and I guess it was a Ventura, but it didn't say Ventura on it. '74. It said GTO on it, and that was a heck of a car. And man, I wish I could find one of those. Yeah, sorry, '70s. Yeah, it was in the '70s. Huh? Oh, that's like way new stuff. You're gonna have to put up 1970. Oh, there you go. Maybe. She's trying to find one of those. Yeah, the X body in 1980. The X body changed to the front driver, the Chevy Citation, which was okay, but I mean, it was not this. This is a real car. This thing, this Olds Omega. Man, that's a nice one.
Yeah, your chrome looks really clean right now.
Well, it's a nice looking car too. It's just great car.
Yeah, the lines are
I'm
real
looking to see
good.
the license plate, see where that's from.
He will find your house.
Don't know. I'm looking to
This
see.
man.
I'm looking to see if it's like did that come out of the Rust Belt? Somebody kept it nice with like some kind of license plates that look like they come from the Northeast.
I mean, you can hide a lot in a photograph,
But that's
but
that's you can
it
look at
looks
that. It
good.
just looks well done. It looks like it's original paint. I mean, that's not an over restoration. That's just great. I love the Omega in brown. Is that a hatchback car? Oh yeah, there were some that were hatchbacks, huh?
Doesn't look like a hatchback. I see the package tray back there. I think
Oh,
it's.
it's not a hatchback. You're right. I'm looking along the
Oh, and
side.
it's in
It's
Massachusetts.
Yeah, that's okay. That's Massachusetts plate. Yeah, so it was either kept indoors its whole life, or you brought it from somewhere else, or did a lot of work to it.
Oh, welcome to the stream. Dallas Brown of the AHRA is here. Mr. Rotter's neighborhood. Welcome to the stream.
Wow, Dallas is here.
Thanks
Cool.
for stopping in, Dallas. That's awesome. Good to have you.
And tomorrow night, I assume we'll be in yours. You're going live tomorrow, aren't you? You and Shane. I hope, because that's my favorite live. I
He
just,
won't miss it.
I,
We
oh,
might be
if
streaming after that, huh?
originally from Laconia, New Hampshire. Man, that car's in New Hampshire? Did you do that restoration or did somebody just keep it indoors its whole life? That is really nice.
Tommy Hamlin is coming to us from Dublin this morning, and it is currently 2:24 a.m.
Man, you're a night person, aren't
He
you?
is a night owl. Thanks
Yeah,
for stopping in.
because we do our lives from the shop starting at 10 our time instead of 7. And he's in there in our lives from the shop, and it's early morning hours for him. Yes, live tomorrow. Good.
Right, so the AHRA channel will have a tech-oriented live stream Wednesday night
Can you
at
put a link up?
7 Central.
Can you put a link up for everybody?
No.
No.
Yes.
Why are you so
I'm just
today?
difficult.
You're
You know?
being difficult today. Yeah, and we're showing pictures. Let me see what else I've got if I got more emails. Of course, Dallas. I'd love it if Dallas sent us. Oh, here we go. Here's one. Buddy, where's Buddy? Buddy Carfano sent something. Let's see what he sent. Oh, yes. I just got to figure out how to download this one. Okay.
All right. We're getting distracted. All right. Here is your link to the American Hot Rod Association YouTube channel. And check them out. And they are live Wednesday nights.
Okay, next picture.
Kim's playing hard. I'm being disagreeable. Sometimes I just am. I don't want him to think that he could just ask for anything and I'll just be like, yes. You know, he has to ask with intention.
So, I want to get the back.
It makes him value the yes more if it's not always
okay.
Yes.
Tell us a story about this car.
Oh, okay, yeah. Whose
Buddy,
car is it?
that's Buddy Buddy Carfano.
Oh, great. Thanks for sending us this picture. Chestnut brown.
Dallas, it's not fair. Kim wants all the slant sixes. Yeah, Kim, yeah. Dallas, you missed it. She bought another slant six. I dozed off today, and I'm sleeping in the middle of the day. And she runs off and buys another slant six, ravaged old slant six.
No,
is it run? Is it supposed to run?
He drove it to the shop. He
Oh,
just
so it's
wanted to upgrade it.
So it's a running.
It came
slant
out of a
six.
running car that he's upgrading to a V8, and I saw both cars.
Okay,
you know?
so that's even better.
And there's lots of new parts, like it had new points, plugs, and condenser, and it had a new Holly 1920 carburetor on it. It's ready to go, except it probably needs a new valve cover gasket. But yeah. It's
and see Dallas likes his Buick, so he's did.
Let me see.
Oh,
there.
Yeah, that's what she bought.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the Buick. There we go.
There's the AHRA. Where are we going? Back to the Buick. Oh, wait. Oh, that's not the right thing.
You pushed the wrong button.
It'll be okay. Just you wait.
You got too many buttons.
I got a lot of buttons. Here we go. Here's the dyno room. Welcome to the dyno room. How many horsepower do you think this new Slant 6 is going to have? 197? You never know.
Can you go back to the Buick?
Yeah.
Well, like you went back like 3,000
I was
years.
just having some fun.
You went back like 30,000 years.
30 million years. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Back to the Buick. A whole different kind of dinosaur.
350 TA performance motor, 400 horsepower. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with one of the most reliable engines ever. Yeah, that's what I hear. And something I didn't understand when I was younger, when those engines were around, was that they're light. That's really a lightweight engine. That's a good engine. You know, I had no idea how those blocks were built. Kim ran off. I don't know what she's doing. You're cooking my food. What kind of food? I didn't know you were cooking food for me. Yeah, because I didn't. I fell asleep in the afternoon instead of getting ready and getting something to eat. So I woke up and like, oh no, I'm late. She's out buying a slant six.
I think I'm gonna put it in the Ranger and call it the Danger.
Why would it be a D?
Because Barracuda.
Barracuda starts with a D?
No, but Danger is the coolest name I could come up with using the letters. Counts because I say it counts.
Funny, Tommy, I do my best work in the dark.
Calling it the Cancer is probably not as interesting.
So let's see. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so I'm going to bring up the next picture, which is from, let me see what I got here. Oh, the Sidewinder. Sidewinder. Ooh.
I almost want to put it in the Ram just because I think Ramacuda is the coolest name I could come up with.
Kim, we have another picture here.
You want more pictures?
Yeah, this one's from Sidewinder.
Oh, Sidewinder shed souls. Okay.
I meant the Slant. Oh, the Slant 6. Oh, I thought you meant the Buick. Oh, the Slant 6 is a good engine. It's
That's not a Slant 6. That's
I'm talking to Dallas here for a second. Or I'm talking to everybody, but kind of toward what Dallas said here. He said he meant the Slant 6 was one of the best engines, but the small block Buick is 150 pounds lighter than a small block Chevy. Yeah, it's amazing.
How do they take 150 pounds out of it?
Well,
That's really great.
You can look through it in every direction, see the other side. No, I'm amazed at how good that is. But the Slant 6, yeah, it's a big old long stroke thing, reliable engine, I guess. I'd say we have a bunch of them now, so I kind of like them, just because I got them.
Oh, Tommy Hanlon neighbors call him Tommy Twilight. We all get our best work done when the light is fading. We are night owls here as well.
Yeah, we are.
We sometimes in the wintertime when it gets dark early, sometimes we don't even get started until it's dark. That's just the way she goes.
Go up there and start a fire in the
yep.
in the wood stove, and then we're up there working. Mexican Spec is back. How'd it go? Mexican Spec's got a business going pretty good now. Yeah, this purple engine, Kim, that is a small block Chrysler of some sort. John Wilburn's here.
John Wilburn, welcome to the stream.
He was here earlier. I don't know if he popped in and out or not. There goes the neighborhood, Mr. Rotter's neighborhood.
I'll bet you it's an LA engine. And does anybody want to know why I pegged it as an LA? Wait a minute.
It is. It's a 360, but I don't know or 318, I suppose. I don't know which it is.
So the manifolds go out the back. So that makes me think Magnum because I thought the LA motors had manifolds that were out the middle.
LA versus Magnum, I see.
The distributor up there has a vacuum pod on it, so that suggests LA. So I'm confused. What is that thing?
Somebody built it, and maybe it's nothing stock. So 360 LA roller cam, wife's favorite color, brownie points. Oh, so if you have an engine that you want to put in your car and you want permission to build the engine, just paint it your wife's favorite color. I never thought of that.
Yeah. If you got to get out of the doghouse, try and do something. Try and do something right. Do something even if it's wrong. Paint it the color she likes.
That is a nice looking engine.
John
but if you know the story, the truck was the grandfather's truck and has been sitting for some time. He hit the wall with the left fender because he was 95. He has passed away and they want it sold. So you have to get a left fender or straighten it or sell it the way it is. It needs everything. Oh, man. What kind of truck?
It only needs everything. Well, good. You know, though, everything in Mexico is probably different than everything up here,
Yeah, it's
or
first
like everything up north of here.
is it a Mexican spec truck or is it a U.S. spec truck?
Because
And
everything around anywhere north of here, everything means like floors, trunk floor, frame rails, the whole.
you know, Mexican spec did a video on that last Ford, and he did a walk around on it. It's kind of dark, to say the least, inside, showing everything, but it was still a good walk around. It was still a good video. One thing about YouTubers, it isn't always like television quality, but the content's so good, it's worth watching, you know. And that's such an unusual vehicle. The walk around was great. Uh, yeah, although if you could have lit it up, it would have been really good. Uh, exactly. Magnum valve covers are the something.
KJ Cali keeps getting cut off
Yeah,
after the first
yeah,
line.
why are you getting cut off, KJ Kylie?
That's the second time there was a comment that
You
was
know,
only like half a
I
sentence.
do that sometimes because I'm typing and I'll bump the enter button, and that irritates me when I do that. But I have done that. The dead parrot was funny too. Oh, the 1995 Dodge Ram Charger. I don't know if it is a 318 Magnum or 360 Mexican spec. The original invoice, it doesn't say what engine it is, just a V8. Do you have paper towels over here somewhere? Yeah, it's underneath whatever that thing is. I'm gonna start having a sneezing fit here if I'm not careful. Thank you. I just don't want to be sneezing all over everything. You're gonna have to take over.
Go ahead in the kitchen. There's food in there. Have a couple bites of
Video
food.
on the truck when he got home. Talks nice about me. Here's the. Oh yeah, okay.
Thank you for posting that
Oh yeah,
Mexican spec.
yeah. I'm gonna
Another
go.
satisfied customer. Oh no, we're not upset with you, Kylie. We just don't know what your sentence
Yeah,
was
it's
gonna
like I
be.
read it just stops. I go, wonder what you meant to say. The
Yeah.
Magnum valve covers are the. And the next thing is dead parrot. That's not it. Uh, I'm gonna cut myself off too. It's funny to hit enter. Two.
Mexican spec by 95. The 318s were Magnums because that my 93 is a
Yeah.
Magnum
But you got to
360.
remember, it's a Mexican spec car, and like they had cars well into the 70s with 289 Fords in them. You know, it's like they didn't do
I'll
this.
do a little.
They didn't do the same thing down there. Lock on the door. It says motor says gasolina. Gasolina. V8, not the size. Wow. Hit the likes, everyone. Oh, thank you. Bruce. Bruce Colchin's here. Does that motor have a purple camshaft? Oh yeah, Chrysler had purple camshafts, didn't they? Kim, I am gonna you got the hot seat. Buff, it says V8 Magnum on the emblem, so it's a Magnum engine. Purple hornies. The purple people eater. I'll be back.
Yeah, if it was a Magnum, it could be a 318 or a 360.
This plate is mine.
Yeah, yes, it is. The Magnum was released in 92. The AI overview has it wrong. The Dodge Magnum 318 was only available in Mexico for the 81 and 82 model years. Well, that's just wrong.
Mexico does everything just a little different.
No, that's just wrong. 81 and 82, the Magnum hadn't been introduced in the United States yet. I'm sure it wasn't introduced in Mexico preemptively and then never produced
Oh,
there
who knows?
again. AI is wrong.
I'm sorry, I've got to eat something. So
The AI model is crumbling. Has anybody been watching videos about that? The whole large language model thing is crumbling. What was it? How many R's in strawberry? If you ask AI how many R's are in strawberry, It'll say 2, and it'll argue with you if you tell it the right answer.
Strawberry. Where is
Kim, the
the R?
Dodge Magnum. Oh, that's right. The Magnum was a car.
Oh, not an engine. It's a car.
What
See
year was
Kim?
the
See Kim?
318? But I said Magnum 318. I didn't say engine. That's why AI
What
wasn't
I've learned about
smart enough.
what I've learned about
I
Mexican
wonder if it
spec.
gives a different answer.
What I've learned about Mexican spec. He knows his cars.
No, because AI's answer is the Dodge Magnum 318 engine was introduced in Mexico for the 81 through 82 model years.
So that's wrong.
And then it goes on to tell me that the 318 engine was a version of the Chrysler A engine, which was produced from 57 through 66, and then export markets, blah 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 blah. It's just gobbledygook, is what AI gives me. Nothing useful.
More from Sidewinder.
Oh, okay. Truck's looking good. I saw you made a video about how much trouble you had. He got some garbage parts. He rebuilt that whole transmission, put it in, and then had to take it back out because it was.
No.
Yeah, properly tuned Magnum engine is more powerful than a base LA engine all day. They put a lot of refinements into the Magnum design. And Sidewinder Shed said they built the purple engine for the black 92 W250 truck.
And that's it.
Oh, nice looking truck.
Last year for the body style, right?
90. No, because
Didn't the one that has the low fenders come out 93? I don't know.
the green one that I have is the first Gen 2 Ram. It's a 94. So 93 was last year for this body style.
Dallas says that Magnum engine will make those tires into purple haze.
I already read that comment.
Oh, you did? I was eating. I'm sorry. You made me Brussels sprouts and they're good.
I did. He's got to eat because he has diabetes, and if I don't feed him, he'll get really
I didn't
ill.
eat all day. I didn't eat, and that was dumb.
I was out getting the Slant 6 engine. I wasn't here to feed him.
Well, I fell asleep, and I make my own food a lot.
I have one of those 93 trucks, but it is a rust bucket. It's really rusty. But it has some of the interior is okay, and the doors are okay. For northern doors, they would be okay. For here in Tennessee, they're just doors.
Is that what Sidewinder says? Oh, 93 was the last year for that body style.
A new U-joint let go after 5 miles. Defective. Did it crack one of the what part of it failed? That's terrible.
What did you be punished like that? Brussels sprouts.
He likes Brussels
I love
sprouts.
Brussels sprouts. And what's really good is I can eat Brussels sprouts, and you people don't have to smell them. It's funny. Kim likes Brussels sprouts, and so do I. It's like mostly when anybody else I was around, if I cooked Brussels sprouts, run everybody out of the house, and they'd all complain and bitch. So I didn't do it very often. Do it when nobody else was there.
Oh, that's right. Dallas has said it before. I'm so glad to hear, Dallas, that you're taking care of your diabetes, because if you do not take it seriously, I have 2 friends who have passed away from not taking their diabetes seriously, and it becomes a big problem very rapidly. And he says he does fasting 2 times a week, and don't take your diabetes meds if you don't eat. Important to understand the medications that you're taking.
Now I feel bad because last year at No Name Nationals,
You
Dallas
offered
was
him junk
Dallas
food?
Dallas was having kind of a rough time and didn't have his act together with a place to eat and everything like he did the year before. So we brought him a hot dog cooker. That's okay. But I brought him buns, hot dog buns. It's like, don't eat that crap, man.
Oh, you didn't even think. I didn't even think.
I didn't know he was a diabetic. Okay, so
Darn, you don't. We need to take care of our Dallas Brown. Who else will run our AHRA?
I was kind of eating bread and sandwiches and all the things I like, and my sugar was out of line. And I just got the point I didn't care. Well, then I met Kim, and she's like, "What are you doing?" She's saying you gotta take care of yourself. Well, I started going to the doctor again. doctor adjusted my meds a little bit, and I started really paying attention to what I was eating, and my blood sugar's down in like the low 90s now. It's like 91, 92, that kind of thing. And I'm maintaining that. And there's a lot of things I like to eat. I miss the big sandwiches, all the bread, man. I remember my father telling me, "Don't eat anything white." He go, "No bread, no rice, no potato." I go, "Wait a minute, that's all the stuff I like." Well, what I've learned is there's a lot of things I like that I
He
just
knew better. He fed the buns to the birds. Good. I'm glad you fed them to the birds and didn't eat them
okay.
out of a sense of obligation. I'm super glad that you made that decision
Did you
for
ever
us.
did you ever use the hot dog cooker? That thing's like dangerous. It's just two nails on the end of a piece of wood. Like you plug that thing in, smack somebody with it, it'd be
I
like the
didn't get
death
it,
penalty.
Dallas, but he really thought it was a funny thing. He had stories about the old hot dog cookers, so
I made
I
that.
hope I hope you got the joke. It was something that was meant meaningful to him. Sidewinder Shed said the C clips or the caps let go on the front U joint of the rear drive shaft. I understand what you mean. It's a two-piece drive shaft with a carrier bearing, but they came out. Was it the right clips? Did they seat properly in the yokes? What I mean, I don't need to know the details, but I'm curious like what was wrong? Like that sucks.
See, Burns, I think is I don't know if he's diabetic, but he sure knows a lot about it. And Dallas, of course, does. But I'm getting my A1C down. My everything's just so much better. It's because Kim kind of, you know, if I eat bread, I just can't. What I can eat are those little tortillas. Those are 7 grams of carbs each. I eat 2 of those like once a week. But that's kind of the all of the bread I eat. And Mexican Spec says, "What's wrong with rice?" It's it's just carbs. I can't eat that. I'm sorry. I just can't eat that. I wish I could eat a big bowl of rice. I love it. Mexican rice is starch, just 2 sugar molecules fastened together. Oh, I don't know. Oh, Mex rice is starch, yeah. The hot dog cooker, it worked great. So you used it. It's amazing. This hot dog cooker is 2 nails like this, and you stick the hot dog on it, and it's got a cord, and you plug it into the wall. In about 30 seconds, the hot dog's just steaming hot, and you unplug it, and you've got a cooked hot dog. So I was doing that, and then I started experimenting with it. I got these big long sausages, and I looped the sausage around and plugged it. It wouldn't cook. It wouldn't even start to get warm. So I don't know what the difference is with it just doesn't work. And what else did we do with hot dog cookers? Oh, there was a guy that I had a shop with, and he liked the idea so much he took 2 welding rods, they're about this long, and he made a thing, and those welding rods stuck out from the wall, and he hardwired it into the building. So these 2 things are just always hot, sticking out of the wall. And he'd grab hot dogs and he just keeps stuffing them on there. And just like, doesn't that shock you? He goes, "Yeah, but you just got to be fast." He'd stick the hot dogs on. Pretty soon these hot dogs would be sticking out, and the welding rods would be kind of bending down. And he's trying to cook like a couple of packages of hot dogs at once, but then it pops a circuit breaker. Whoops.
This is not cooking advice.
So
Do not cook hot
so
dogs
and then I
like
tried
this.
cooking squash on a hot dog cooker. Nope, won't work. Only cooks hot dogs. It's amazing.
I was thinking what we should do though is we should use a welder, like a stick welder, to cook hot dogs. That would make
Yeah,
them
let's
hot
try
quick,
that.
right? And it wouldn't electrocute you. It's low voltage, high amperage.
Dallas, that's something he says his sugar levels get high, he gets anxiety real bad. What what happens to me? I don't really know what happens, but I know it. I know that it's like I'm not feeling right, and I know it.
Well,
And I
that might be your sugar getting low.
oh, I know what low feels like. And low, the only time I've gone low is when I was still doing insulin. But I lost 100 pounds, and when I was doing insulin, I couldn't do it after I lost all that weight, and I'd go really low, and that's really bad. Let's see here. It's the resistance is too high. It's the resistance too high with the sausage. Yeah, why is yeah, but sausage is all full of salt and everything. I would think that it just conduct. Maybe I need to make one at 220. Go plug it in where the dryer goes.
Why?
Big old hefty hot dog cooker on top of the dryer. Um,
I mean, if you do enough welding, can you really tell the difference, Dougster? It all kind of tastes like welding rod at that point in the day. Flux puppies. I love that. That's so funny. Chris 103 Customs, welcome to the stream.
The other thing I tried with the hot dog cooker is the two nails are up like this. You put them inboard a little bit so that it fits the hot dog. But there were a lot of people wanted to put them they bend the nails all around so it go in the end of the hot dogs. And you know what? That just burns the end of the hot dogs and they stink and they don't cook well. I don't know why that is, but they gotta be crossed through the hot dog. Yeah, how many ohms is your sausage? We never checked the resistance in the sausage.
That's what we need to do. Now that's
Now
a short. That's a short. That's
now
a
we got a
short.
short. Take a pack of hot dogs up
Here
there.
it is. Wait, I got the thing.
Oh, she writes down all the things we want to do for shorts. Check the resistance of a hot dog. Let's start checking the resistance of all food.
Just hot dogs.
See what we can cook with just electricity and then try not to hurt ourselves. 6010 tastes way different than 7018. More hydrogen. 7018. You know what those numbers are?
Yes.
Okay.
They're different kinds of welding.
Different kinds of welding rod. Yeah. Okay, you're stick welder.
For
all
different. Right. Well, I'm not stick welder, but I'm aware that there's a such thing.
Hot dog must cook because of high salt and water content. Yeah, but I thought a sausage would be...
I think the sausage would be about the same water content.
But it had something to do with the way they were long sausages, so I looped them around so that where the nails were the same width as the hot dog. I don't know. I really don't know why. Doesn't electricity go around the corner? I'm not... What happened? Yeah, Chris saying hi, everyone. Good evening. Let's see. No more pictures? Let me see.
I got him eating, and now he's like...
Oh, here we go.
Out.
Here's Tim again. More pictures from Tim. Okay, I'll download them here in a second if I can get them open. Let's see. Oh, this is like big stuff.
It's a truck.
Yeah, it's going to take me a second to get these downloaded and then move over to where the pictures went. See, I'm a little more organized. At least I know where the pictures went now.
And Mexican Spec did mention that he's looking for somebody up in the Rust Belt to help facilitate the import of Mexican Spec vehicles, because he believes that people in the Rust Belt would love them because they tend to be rust-free, and that may be the case. So if there's anybody who is into car sales and is living in the Rust Belt, they should get in touch with Mexican Spec. He has more energy when he eats. Yeah, but he sort of flattens out for a little bit. Usually when I feed him, he sits and watches a couple YouTube videos before he sparks back up.
Bob Burns is saying, I think it means a 5 ohm hot dog will cook faster than a 2 ohm. See, we got it.
Yeah, you know what? That's what we need to... Why isn't it on the label of the hot dogs? I am left-handed, Lester LeSabre.
Food, the labels, they need to have the resistance listed in there. How many ohms?
Especially sausages. How many ohms is this dog? Is a foot-long dog going to be too many ohms?
So, this is Tim's picture. Toyota Hilux. Oh, yeah, that's probably something you have down there that we don't get here anymore. What else we have here? Oh, this is the back of it. This is Tim's truck, I would assume.
That's a nice truck. Pretty.
No, Kim. I need somebody in the Rust Belt to sell trucks up there. Yeah, I think that's what she meant, wasn't it? You wouldn't believe how clean the trucks are here. I have to help. Isn't that what you meant?
I meant it. Maybe it didn't come out the way I meant it.
Yeah, because
Mexican Spec needs somebody in the Rust Belt, somewhere up north, that can do the sales and help facilitate that once the cars are in the country, that they move to the north and get to customers. Maybe a middleman who can do some of that stuff.
I took a beat up, really beat up Honda Civic up to Northeast Ohio. Came from Southern California, so it didn't have a spot of rust on it. But it was old and it was a piece of crap. I mean, but it ran. I got it up there and everybody loved that car because there was no rust on it. And when I got there, I couldn't imagine why anybody liked that car. But it's because there wasn't a spot of rust on it. You know, it was like 20 years old, you know. 15-liter, twin turbo cat, 18 speed.
Oh, wow.
That thing's probably fast.
Power. Ultimate diesel power. You don't ever drive anywhere near California with it, though, do you? Because they do not like the diesel. We're all too old. Yeah, and I'm really not a car salesperson. I can't sell vehicles. I can buy vehicles. I can't sell them.
Anybody can buy vehicles.
Kim, can you pull? I will, Mexican Spec. Give me a moment. I'll find it.
You pull up the Black Bronco. Oh, I see what he said. Okay. I don't know if anybody up here was too old. Yeah, a lot, Burns. I was up there when I met you, and you're quite a bit older than me. But Lot Burns looks like he's like 10 years younger than me. He works and gets around like a 50-year-old in good shape.
Can we change the picture to my screen?
Yes.
Is that okay? Okay, I don't want to jump too soon.
Well, when Otavo gets here, there's something I want to ask him about, but he's not. What time is it? He comes in on his lunch.
Gorgeous black paint.
It'll be an hour before he's here.
5-liter V8, 4-speed manual transmission. Nice.
That's a good body style too.
Wait, is that a Bronco too? Or is that a Bronco and I'm not seeing?
It's a Bronco, and they call it a Bronco 2 down there because it's not. That's a.
Oh yeah, it's 5-liter, so it's definitely a full-size Bronco.
That's the one that had the problem. Oh, look at that.
Fancy seat.
Oh man,
it's all dressed up. Nice.
Well, somebody in the Northeast would love to have that.
Oh, it looks like a 2-wheel drive? I'm confused. I need to look back. Oh, is it 2-wheel drive? I don't see it. I don't see the.
Let me move out of the way.
I don't see the transmission shifter.
Seems pretty normal to me. They just stuck Bronco 2 badges on it. Yeah, it could be. As it turns out, this is a Mexican carryall with a removable Bronco top. The seller told me it has Texas title. It is an original Mexican truck, not U.S. truck. But it's got a Texas title on it now? That makes it, that makes it good. He stuck those emblems. Okay, it's not a Bronco 2 yet, because I knew it wasn't a Bronco 2, but it had those logos on it.
Yeah,
that
that's
interior,
a long way into being cleaned up and ready to enjoy.
It looks great.
Maybe a Volvo? Yeah.
Yeah, those could be both. Yeah, they look like some kind of European seats.
It looks like they covered the dash to match. Somebody's redone the interior. Very cool. Very cool. I don't really like the blue with the tan. But hey, it's easy enough to dye carpeting.
Okay, so it doesn't have Texas. It isn't Texas. It's just some kind of, somebody didn't know what they're talking about. Kim, this is a great dinner. I'm sorry to be eating in front of everybody, but I had to do something.
Yeah. All right. It could be the only 2-wheel drive Bronco in the country.
So what? That's cool. It's a nice vehicle. Okay, if I got any more, let me look at my email again. I haven't looked in several minutes. I can't find my cursor. There it is. You ever lose your cursor? Oh yeah, more from Tim.
Thank you everyone for being here tonight. We've been having a lot of fun. Boy, it's the chat's been moving steadily.
Okay.
That's
All right, Tim.
What's the
says here,
story on the petty car?
this is Petty's backup car.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I forgot he went to the orange. I always liked this Petty blue, but he started doing orange and blue. I don't remember what. There was some story on that.
Oh, I'll give you the. It's buckdelcampo@gmail.com.
Oh yeah, we don't. Yeah, I'm hoping. I was gonna say this earlier and then didn't do it. I was hoping Dallas would send pictures of one of those. He has a small Buick that I've never seen. The
Dallas has some really
early ones.
great projects. Really good stuff. I look forward to when he'll be able to start like making more consistent content again. I know he's been very busy and distracted.
Price is $9,999 U.S. delivered to the border for that Bronco. Or you can get a rust-free truck like that for that price. Yeah, I don't know what they go for, so I mean, you're the guy that knows that better than anybody.
If you're in the market for a two-wheel drive Mexican spec Bronco, check out Mexican Spec on Instagram. You can see the pictures and the description. And you can contact Mexican Spec and work out some kind of deal. We see him making successful deals for people and getting the cars across the border with the title and everything that they need. And he's there making sure people are happy with the transactions. So
okay, so here we are with that Petty car. Who's in that?
was at a track 3 miles from my house. Great day, says Tim. Nice.
Two-wheel drive will get you a lot further than those than you might think. Yeah, probably.
Sometimes a two-wheel drive, if it's got like a locker of some kind in it, is just as good as a four-wheel drive with open dips. That you can make them very, very capable. A vehicle like that, lots of ground clearance, lots of room for knobby tires. You're they're pretty capable.
Kim, that was good. She took Brussels sprouts and put
Oh, he likes the name brand ones that have like the sauce on them.
The Mexican cheese, 4 cheese, shredded cheese on it. Man, is that good.
I gotta feed the man.
Well, now I feel more normal than I did when I came out here all flustered. Look at that, it's got a wink mirror. It's a wink mirror, isn't it? Not sure.
Where?
That mirror, what? Oh, or it's just a convex mirror.
Oh, I see what you're saying. There's somebody's hand in the window.
In the window.
Holding something while he's smiling.
Ford never made a factory two-wheel drives full-size Bronco.
I'll be back in a second.
There's a story they made one for the vice president of the company back then, but never sold it to the public. Suspect what happened to the Ram Charger. Oh, they might have just put F-150 stuff in there. Couldn't believe, Tim's couldn't believe how those things handled. Better than any of your hot rods. Is that you? Who's driving it? Or did you get to drive it? What's going on? I'm looking through my email. There's something here from Dallas. I'm going to pull it up here in a second. You still have a Wink Mirror. You know, the last one I had was my 64 Ford. Good evening, Colleen. How you doing? Mama M cubed M3. Kid's grandfather's truck had been sitting forever. Something happened there to my picture. Don't know what happened. I'm trying to bring another one up. What is this Dallas is sending me? Dallas, what is this? Okay. And this. Dallas, you got to tell us what we're looking at here. That's me. Oh, that's you. You did a 172-mile-an-hour laps. Oh, man. Okay, Lot, I'll get to it. It's an MG. Let me go back one. I can see it's an MG. What's going on there? Oh, that's not what I want. Let's get rid of that, whatever that is. Got too many pictures. Don't know what's happening here. Oh, all my pictures are having trouble. Why is this thing crashing? Oh, okay, I'm gonna start. I got too many open or something. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I got a lot of pictures open. That's the problem. Maybe. Sorry, everybody. I gotta. They're all stacked on top of each other. Kim, I got a mess going here. I'm sorry. I'm making a fool of myself. This Dallas sent us that. See, and this is. I just have way too much stuff open. Oh, here we go. This is where I was with Dallas.
What is that?
Yeah, that's what I asked Dallas. What is that? A predecessor of the funny car.
The motor's up in the cabin.
I remember that kind of stuff. I remember the superchargers there sticking. I remember the inlets right there. Okay, and let's see what the last one is. Oh man, there we go. That is a concept car. Kind of like a 59. Okay, Buick Skylark 3, the XB75 concept, 1958. Yeah, you know, the 59 ended up looking a lot like that. Oh, look at that, Kim. That's a cool thing. Came from Dallas. Mr. Buick.
He knows all the stuff.
Yeah, I like those little concept vehicles. Yeah, and that's when, you know, all the fins, 58, 59, 60 in there with all those fins coming out. And then the canted headlights, that was a big deal for a few years. The Lincolns did it, and Buicks did it, and who else? There were Chryslers. Oh yeah, the early '60s Chryslers. They had the canted headlights. And when I was a kid, then I just thought that was like the coolest thing ever. That's where the 215 Buick came from. Really, it's like all fin back there. Yeah, I'm trying to get that part up. Let's see if I can do this and get it so I can bring it up to the back. Yeah, because the 59 Buick had fins that were very much like that.
I'm telling you, and I'm telling the chat.
Yeah.
Um, I went today and got a motor. I'm like a little whooped. Can I take a short break? Do you want to keep going while I take a break, or do you want to finish early tonight?
I don't know what time is it. It's not that.
It's
I mean,
it's pretty early
we're just
still.
getting going. Yeah,
It's
it's
only
it's
about 2 hours,
Yeah, we're 2 hours into it.
but I need a
Um,
little break if I'm going to keep going.
you need a break.
Yeah, a
Hello,
little break.
Four Eyes, Four Eyes, Four Eyes. What is this? Oh,
They're talking about the car.
the
It's
front
got
of the car.
four headlights.
The front of the car, which I can drag this down. I put the front of it there. The fin doesn't look the same in this picture as
Everybody,
it does
I'm
in this
not going to be
picture.
far away. I'm just going to rest my head for a second. I had that procedure on my neck last week and I'm feeling better and I'm doing more, but then I'm doing more. So, like, then I really feel it. So, I'm going to take a moment. I'm
A
going to take a
buddy,
moment, okay?
next thing to spec, a friend of his bought a '59 Buick Invicta convertible, and the left rear wheel fell off on the way.
Good God.
It's like Gary says, check your fluids only. No, check your lug nuts.
Check everything.
Check everything thorough pre-flight, and you still miss something. Man. Yeah, I like the concept cars. Did the fins affect the cars at high speeds? I would expect if you went into a turn fast enough, they might stabilize something, but I kind of doubt the car would go fast enough to make them effective. Mexican Spec says, take care of yourself, Kim. They will keep Buff in line. Really? I'm going to go look at my email again, see if we got any more pictures. We do. Lot Burn sent something. Oh, yeah, he said he sent something. Oh, what does that? What kills the picture over there? I don't understand that. What happens? What kills the picture over there? I'm sorry, I get a blank screen. I'm not sure what's causing that yet. This is from Lot Burns. High speed 1958 was probably about 100 miles an hour. Yeah. I had a 56 Ford with a 312 in it. I had it up to, the speedometer said 120, but I suspect there was probably some error there. But yeah, that was stupid. I was 16 or 17 years old, just old worn out car holding the pedal in the metal, you know. Maybe even downhill a little. I don't know. I think it raised the front end of that speed. The lucky thing is the transmission wouldn't let it go that fast. I see those Dodge panel trucks here with no rust. Lots of potential. You know, I think Lot Burns, I've been to his house and he showed me his cars. I don't think anything has rust that Lot Burns has. He's just one of those guys that knows how to take care of cars and restore them. And he's got a what year is it? 69, I think, Charger. Yeah, well, let's see if you can send me the picture of that 69 Charger. You send me a picture of that 69 Charger, I'll put it up. That thing, man, he had it inside a garage, and I looked at the top of the hood. You could see it's like a mirror looking at the ceiling of his garage. It's just amazing. Paint, it's amazing. I said to him, "You don't drive this on the street, do you?" He goes, "Oh yeah, like for 5 years or something." I'm like, "Really?" That's looked like it just come out of a shop. There are Ford, Chevy, and Dodge panel trucks here, most original, because people don't customize anything here. I thought people did customize stuff there. Because what did I see? Maybe I look at those carry-all things, and that's about as custom as you can get. Of course, a shop's doing that, but. And then I see people, the Mexican cars that you show have different steering wheels, and yeah, I guess they aren't real custom. I see the steering wheels put on. A couple other things, maybe. Yeah, what year is that? What year is that? The older Dodge there. I guess the only Dodge there. The other one's a Jeep. The couldn't imagine those Finn cars like a Hellcat. Oh, 1,000 horsepower engines, 150, yeah. 1995 Ram Charger I just looked at. Has the same steering wheel. The US trucks. It had no airbag. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I thought you probably meant 1,000 horsepower. Much custom upholstery and stuff, though. Yeah, you know what I've seen on. Sometimes I look at those cars you have, and they've got a steering wheel. It's like, it's some aftermarket steering wheel. That's 65. Oh man, looks like it's right out of the 50s. But it's military, so they just kept the same body going for a while, I guess. And I knew the grill was. I couldn't recognize the grill. You don't know how much I rely on Kim to sit here and keep the conversation going. We don't need no stinking airbag. You know, my son was a PT Cruiser I had, and they ended up clobbering. They hit about like this, almost head on with a Chevy pickup, pretty hard. I mean, it really messed up the PT Cruiser. Airbag didn't deploy, and I don't know why. I don't know if it malfunctioned or if it just wasn't the right kind of collision for it. He was fine. I mean, he has seatbelts on. He left that body style for a long time. Yeah, I guess maybe on the panel trucks. I know a guy that had a TV and stereo repair shop when I was a kid. He's the guy that built the aluminum car. He had a Dodge that was, I think it was a 55. It was that same body style, but it wasn't four-wheel drive, and that was their service vehicle. It was red. I think he rolled it. Then he bought an Econoline. Bought I heard, I never saw that he rolled it. I just heard that he did. And then he bought a 61 Econoline to replace it. Tim, you're going to turn in. Okay. Well, thanks for being here, and hopefully you get a good night's sleep. Take care. Okay, Dallas just sent more pictures. Let's see what we've got. Oh yeah, more stuff. Okay, it's gonna take me a second to get there. Oh, that's the car I wanted to see. I've heard about it, but never seen it. I gotta lean so you can see the tires. Oh man, I've heard about this car. Sal Rossi and I built this truck. It was so much fun. Military from Groom Lake area. Really? Did you go over the Geiger counter? I can't say for sure. Not stock, all one tonner, 318 4-speed. I went to school with a kid who rolled a 70 or 71 Torino. Oh, man. I still haven't had the pleasure of being upside down in a car. I don't want to be. But upside down in airplanes many times, but it's intentional. Of course, in an airplane, you don't hit anything. I was flying along one time with a guy behind me, and we were going somewhere. I was bored, and I rolled upside down. And then I rolled, I paused there. Then I rolled right side up again. And he comes on the radio. He goes, man, he goes, I was looking away. He goes, I looked up. He goes, I thought I was upside down. Because he goes, you were upside down. Yeah, it goes pretty funny. I went to high school. Okay, yep. That 65 panel is the same body style as a 59 Apache. 66 they changed, I believe. Apache. I thought that was a Chevrolet. 63 Super Duty Tempest 421 rope drive. It had a 421 in the rope drive. I knew those things were the four cylinder. Yeah, the half of 389s. It had a rope drive with a. Are you kidding me? Okay, here's another one. Oh yeah. This is the kind of stuff you used to see when people were doing all the vans. That's crazy. It had knocked the fuel economy down, but it looks cool, I guess. Yeah, I like that. Well, I like those. I like the GM, um, the first compact cars they did in the early '60s, like the Tempest and the Olds F85s and the Corvairs. Of course, it was different, but the Corvairs and didn't Buick? Yeah, the Buick Specials. I just like that size, cars, and they didn't last very long. They lasted up through '63, I guess. In '64, they started getting bigger, and that was the end of it. People put all that work into that van and then let it sit. Yeah, they probably did that in the '70s, late '70s. GMC motorhomes with the Tornado drivetrain. Oh, I worked on a lot of those. When I had my first radiator shop, those things, they had big GM crossflows and they were kind of overloaded a bit. So the radiators were under pretty high pressure all the time, and pressure is what kills radiators. So what was nice about those is you could kind of slide under the bumper and then sit up in there, and the radiator was right in front of you. But there's not a lot you can do with it in the vehicle, but there's sometimes you can. But and a friend of mine in California right now is restoring one of those GMC motorhomes. That's a heck of a project. He's a guy that did a 57 Thunderbird when we were young. Now he's doing a GMC motorhome in his driveway. I think he's in Santa Barbara, California. I worked for Pontiac in '63. I tore up one Tempest with a 326 V8 in it. It was a customer car. Oops. Man, I almost rolled a customer's Volkswagen Beetle one time. I mean, I thought it was going over, and I just reacted fast enough, and the I think the axle started to fold under, and I just turned into it, and went bam back on the ground. I was like, ooh. Guess we got to rebuild the rear end. Isn't that the rear end? It was an automatic, had the torque converter just hanging off the back of the rear end, just hanging on, just like the torque converter is out in the open, flipping around. Dr. Go, there's a website dedicated to those GMC motorhomes. I just saw 2 in town. Dallas, tell us about this car. Other than the rope drive, I'm just having a hard time imagining that rope drive putting up with that. Been a passenger in a car which almost went a checker limo. It looks like something that would roll over. That's like a big beefy car, wasn't it? I've said this on the live stream before. I always thought that the right end they had the old Continental engines in them, and they had Chevrolet engines in them. They should have had in there big old International V8s like a 392 or something. That would have been the ultimate beefy car, checker with a International V8 in it. But they never did it. Yeah, okay, that's the rope drive. Exposed torque converter. I didn't know that even back then. I didn't know that till years later, and I slid under one and saw it, and I went, "What? That thing? That's out in the open?" Yeah, I know what the rope drive, long skinny drive shaft that looked like a rope. Yeah, I just didn't know what it put up with that kind of with a 421 power. What was that? That transmission was kind of like a Corvair, wasn't it? Except it was, instead of being driven by an engine in the back, it was had a shaft that went all the way through it, I guess, and the torque converter out there flipping around. That just seems so strange. Man. The passenger side rear door popped open when we were teetering, stopped us from going. The door stopped you from rolling over. It's a freak accident saved by another freak accident. Man. So tell us about how fast did that thing go? Was that yours? Passenger side rear door popped open. Oh yeah, I already read that. I lost my cursor again. Is this mouse working? This is the last GM supported drag car when they pulled the plug on racing in 1963. Later, they got it back. Did they tub this car to get the big tires under there? Yeah, most came with the four banger. The very first engine I rebuilt was in high school in auto shop, and it was I think it was a 61 Pontiac um, Tempest that had the half a V8 in there. It had the 4-cylinder. So I only had to do a valve job on one head, and that's back when we were talking about this on Dallas's channel about knurling the valve guides, and that's what we did. The valve guides were a little loose, so you knurled the valve guides and then reamed them to fit the valves, and I don't know. I guess it worked. We were taught to do that. It's like the mini tub. It's not yours, okay? I have a '63 Buick Special drag car. Yeah, I'd like to see that one. You have any pictures of that? Um, yep, no more pictures in my email box. Um, Man, yeah, and the back end stuck way up in the air like that. I think it looks cool, but I don't know about weight transfer. I guess it worked. Obviously, it worked. All the crap they do to cars these days to go faster seems like cheating to you. They cut the car and all that. Yeah, make cars into something else. Something is flying low over the house. It's a jet. You know what flies low over here? Mostly military helicopters and occasionally a C-17. I bet it's a C-17. Nobody else flies big airplanes low like that. See, wasn't there a Tempest with a Turbinique? Oh man, Turbinique. Yeah, that's a. For those of you that don't know, there's several different Turbiniques, but there's one that went right where the rear end goes, and it was a turbine engine that had like 1,000 horsepower or something. It's crazy. Man, I remember those things. My Buick is not a rope drive; it's a T10 4-speed and a Pontiac Olds 9 point. Yeah, that sounds more like something you do. When the front end comes off the ground, Buff, you need the rear end to be higher so you don't drag the butt. Well, I suppose. Um, just now, I know people are to get weight transfer. They usually don't have the front end sitting low, but I don't know. I'm not a drag racer. I'm just listening to everybody trying to learn. Dallas removed all the trouble spots. Yeah, Buicks never had the rope. Oh, Buicks didn't have the. Oh, yeah, this is a Pontiac. Oh yeah. What am I thinking? Yeah, I remember Buick. And I had a friend that bought his wife a car. This is like in 1970. He bought his wife a 62 Buick Special 4-door, and it had a aluminum 215, the Buick version of it. I drove that car quite a bit, and I remember I thought it had piston slap. You could hear that engine just it was a noisy engine, but it just ran like that for years. It just was a noisy engine, and don't know what made the noise. Sounded like piston slap to me. Was near sites in high school and took wood shop and built a little racing boat. Fun, but if I had, but I would have taken auto shop. It would have helped me the rest of my life. My older brother was a mechanic. You know what happened to me in auto shop? I went at auto shop. I knew more than they did because I'd already been working in a shop. And they're like talking about brakes, and they really didn't know what they were talking about. They knew how to take the brake shoes off and put them on, but that was about it. You know, the teacher. You know, I'm talking about arcing shoes and under arcing and drum distortion and segmented linings and all this because I knew how to hot rod all the drum brakes. You know, and then wheel alignments, they didn't cover that very well, and they really were terrible. And we had all these engines on stands, so a lot of what the instructor would do, everything was points, of course. He'd bug everything like just the points, so they're always closed, and he'd do a few things the engines, and you get like two people over there on each engine, you'd have to make it run, you know. So I guess that was good, but pretty pretty basic stuff. But I guess that's what you do in high school. I guess it's pretty basic stuff. Um, I majored in auto shop in high school. Yeah, I took auto shop 1 year, and I was just bored with it. I did more in metal shop. Metal shop I took every year, and I took drafting every year. And the last year would have been drafting four, and we went to the teacher in when I was a junior, and we said we were signing up for classes for the next year, and we said we heard there was a drafting four class. And he goes, "Well, if you get enough people, we'll do one." So we got 12 people together right away. So they did a drafting four for those of us in that were seniors that wanted to take drafting. And the instructor says, "I don't know what to do with you guys." He goes, "Pick a project and do something." So I designed a car, and then I started drawing all the pieces and parts of the car. The guy next to me did the same thing, and that guy ended up working for Honda. He was a auto body designer for Honda for years. He led the team on the first Honda CRX, the little two-seater, and he worked on the what was the one that looked like a Ferrari? The I think it was a an Acura in the U.S. NSX. So he was in Honda for years and years. He's retired now. Um, and then I went with airplanes. I just never did anything with cars other than hot rods and stuff I had in high school. Oh, and of course I had the radiator shops, but that isn't design work. What Burns? I think it's 62. All the small cars from GM were coming out. Vehicles, Pontiac and Chevy 2, all different engines and drive combinations. Yeah, Chevy 2 came out late, you know, because the Corvair came out 2 years before that. But I liked all those mid-sized cars that were like just a little bigger than Corvair, and they set low like that, like this Tempest and like the Buick Special and the Olds F85. You kind of sat down into them, and they looked like a little big car. I just, of course, I'm a short guy, so I fit in them real well. Metal Shop has too many bloody fingers. Uh, Dallas, what engine is in your special now? Metal Shop in Christine was a copy of the one in my school, exactly the same. Wow, you have an amazing mind. Oh, well, you know what happened with me is I was in the radiator, but while I'd been in the Air Force as a radiator business, I got my pilot's license while I was in the Air Force, but I did it through the civilian side. And then I wanted to build airplanes, and I started. That's when everybody started using automotive. Not everybody. A lot of people started using automotive engines in airplanes. So I started building radiators and figured out how all that worked. And then I built airplanes, and I don't know, just something I wanted to do, and ended up making a business out of it. Here we go. Dallas sent another more pictures. Oh, here we go. I can see the thumbnails. Gonna take me a second to get to them. Ah, yes. That's a small car. Is that lighter than your Thunderbird? I would think it is. Well, it's a 364 cubic inch Buick small block. What is the difference between a Buick small block and big block? Because on the outside, they kind of look the same to me. I know what the nail head looks like. I don't. Oh, thank you for sharing your life. You know, that came from somebody made a comment, said, "What do you think you are, a rocket scientist or something?" So yeah, I'll just make a video. Oh, wow. Dallas has the same work chair I do, except mine's black. Mine has a tear in it. Yeah, NSX. Oop, what happened there? Got to make that bigger. Kim's not here, so I can't get me out of the way. She knows how to make me bigger and smaller. At least I'm down in the corner right now. She's able to scoot us around to wherever she wants. And even have the same engine hoist. I feel I feel something when I look at those 60s cars. There's so much to look at from every angle. I don't get that with newer cars. Yeah, I agree with that. You know, especially the cars that were like late 90s, early 2000s. A friend of mine says that just jelly bean cars. They all look like jelly beans. Look like jelly beans. Somebody stuck headlights on them doors. And I think he was kind of right. The new ones all look angry to me. Headlights are all like, "Grr." I don't know. It's different packaging. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with the new cars. It's almost like they're trying to sabotage themselves. We'll just make some $100,000 cars that nobody wants. Can't get financing for them. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Yeah, wouldn't it be nice to have something like this? That size car that looks like a car. Yeah. Kim, how you doing? No, I want to make sure you're okay back there. Checking in on you. She says she's okay. Yeah, we've been looking at a lot of pictures. Dallas sent a lot of pictures and Buicks. Buicks. Kim says thanks for sending all the pictures. We'll look. She'll look at them later when we look at them. And some of these are big enough pictures that I'll be able to use them for thumbnails. The Buick Specials, F-85, Chevy Corvair, and Pontiac Tempest were all wide body style. You know, that's really weird because the Corvair was so different, but then it was the same, sorta. The and the others, of course, were very much the same. But back then, the divisions did their own thing, like the Pontiacs with the rope drive and the transmission in the back, exposed torque converters, and the Buicks with the aluminum engines, and the Oldsmobile with a somewhat different aluminum engine, and that, and of course the Corvair was really different. They say the similar car design shapes are to minimize injury to humans when they hit, so they are not fatal hits, ensuring you don't get run over, but kicked over the hood and glance off the windshield. All this safety stuff on cars, and then the Tesla Cybertruck comes along with all these huge sharp edges, extremely heavy vehicle with sharp edges all over it. It's like, You got to be kidding me. I thought we were legislated out of that. I guess if you're Elon Musk, you can pretty much do what you want. I guess. I don't know. Watched who was it? Hoovy? Hoovy bought one of those things new and he cut himself on it like the first day trying to open the hood. He just bumped the edge of that front fender. There's just a sharp piece of stainless coming out. Doesn't even have an edge rolled over on it. It's just an edge. Cut himself on it, you know. Did they even deburr it? The Buick small block was first 215, 300, 340, 350. The big block was based off the small block. Okay, that's why they look a lot alike then. 400, 430, 455, but it's a shallow skirt block. Okay. See, I remember all those engines. And then see, I knew a guy that built an airplane, and you can look it up sometime. If Kim was here, I'd ever look it up. But it was a canard pusher airplane engine in the back with a prop back there, and he had a what looked like a 215 Buick, but he told me he said it was aluminum, but he said it was out to 300 cubic inches. He did it with a crank or something. He explained it to me. I didn't understand all he did the engine, but he said it was 300 cubic inch, but it was the aluminum block. I did the cooling system for him, and he went out and set some records with that airplane and raced it and did real well with it. People should stay the hell out of the street. Yeah, like in Mexico. Don't get hit by a car. I think you get the ticket, don't you? I don't know. I've heard stories like this. New cars all have no personality. Yeah, I mean, I guess the Cybertruck has personality, but I'm not sure it's. I I was watching this guy rebuilding he bought a totaled Cybertruck, been broadsided pretty hard. A lot of trouble just getting the thing to move, and they had severe steering problems with that thing. The fly-by-wire, I guess they call it drive-by-wire steering, wouldn't steer, and it was doing weird shit. It's like, man, hope we don't have this problem going down the road. I saw a video that did a back-to-back pull test. When the Ford jammed on the brakes instead of pull, it ripped the whole rear end off and broke the actual understructure when it snapped tight. In American Graffiti, they had a 61 Ford police car and they chained the thing to something. And when it was a police car, and the cops took off, it ripped the rear end out from under the car. And Leave It to Beaver, they did the same thing with one of the kids' cars. Ripped the rear end out of it because they chained it to something because they thought the guy was gonna, you know what they thought, gonna slam their heads into the dashboard, but instead ripped the rear end out. New cars are all cookie cutters. People here are so arrogant about it. They cross against the red lights like they have walls around them. They need to go. Really? What, the pedestrians? Helicopters. Helicopters over us. Oldsmobile had an aluminum turbocharged 215. I remember that. I remember what the intake manifold looked like because it had like a thing around it that the air cleaner sat on. I remember those things. Buick Space.
Whose car is that?
That's Dallas. Remember, he always talks about his small Buick. That's his small Buick.
Cool.
Kim is back.
I'm back.
Welcome back, Kim.
Hi, everyone. I was listening.
See, I always heard in Mexico you got to be careful as a pedestrian because the drivers will run over you because it's not their fault. Had to look away for a few minutes, but hey, Ford versus Ferrari dropped on Hulu.
Interesting. It's a movie.
Oh, okay. So
I can't believe I just had to tell him that Ford versus Ferrari is a movie that just came out.
I'm convinced they don't teach colors in school, or at least what they mean. Oh, same thing in Russia. Well, now they probably know because they're driving now. But back in Soviet times, my former wife came here and we're teaching her to drive, and it's nighttime, and we're coming into an intersection, downhill into an intersection, and the light turns red, and she's just barreling along like I'm like, red light, hey, hey, and I reach over and I got my foot on the brake from the passenger side. I said, remember, red light stop, green light go, and she's sitting there like this old steering wheel. She goes, red light stop, green light go, and I'm thinking, oh man, how do we get to this point? She's trying to remember it, you know. And by the time any kid that's in a country where they have cars, they know that by the time they're 2.
They taught us that in
They
preschool, and we
well,
already
and
knew. We were like, come on, we already know.
yeah, because you ride in a car and you just know it,
Like,
And
why are
then
we stopped?
and then
Because the light is red.
my son, my stepson, who was 4 at the time, he's in the back seat going, Mom, red light, oh, crash. He knew. He'd already figured it out. Rush at the dash cam crash footage. Capital. Oh yeah, you know why they did that? Because of all when they all had to get car insurance, because they didn't have any of that before. When they all had to get car insurance, they go out and duck in front of somebody and slam on the brakes so they could collect the insurance. It became, you had a car. You didn't have a car to get somewhere. You had a car so you could scam the insurance companies. So everybody got dash cams. Yeah, and then they all end up all over YouTube. It's pretty funny stuff. By our standards, it's real funny stuff. You're making me hungry. I'm not allowed to eat that, am I?
I gave you Brussels sprouts.
I know. But that smells good, and it's something I'm not
It
allowed
does
to
smell
have.
very citrus.
And it's something I'm not allowed to have. So, I don't know. Dallas, do you eat oranges? Probably not. You
You
shouldn't.
eat oranges.
Full of sugar. Even if it's natural sugar, it's full of sugar. Apples are pretty bad, too. I'll eat a slice of an apple once in a while, but that's all.
You can have a wedge if you'd like one.
One
It
wedge.
could be more than that.
Can you give me one wedge of that?
Yeah.
Man, that would be really good. I should do a before and after blood sugar.
No, you shouldn't.
Dallas, when you cut yourself in the shop, do you run over there with a strip and check your blood sugar? I used to do that all the time. I haven't been doing it lately. I need to start doing that again. It really looks good on that Buick is those crackers.
Yeah.
The whole thing looks good.
What year is that Buick?
63.
Okay.
That's just a exceptionally nice looking car. Green light, go, yellow light, speed up, red light, bang a right turn. Yeah. I asked somebody, I had a yellow light. He goes, that means go like crazy and try to beat the red. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, God, that's good.
Thanks everyone for coming tonight. We really appreciate having such a good group of people making comments, sending photos, suggesting conversation. Sorry if we miss anyone's comments. Can be sometimes a little bit overwhelming to keep up with everybody, or to
Bravo.
follow every conversation to its end, or to comment on every comment. Sometimes you guys make jokes or talk amongst yourselves and we don't quite follow, but we do appreciate you being here. It's good things.
Tavo, good evening. How you doing? Good afternoon to you. Happy lunchtime.
Oh,
Tavo, just so you know, this is Dallas Brown's 63 Buick race car. There's something I want to ask Tavo. You made a comment on our last video about the mower deck, and you said $25 about was a good deal for that spindle, and then you also said that the replacements, I guess John Deere, because you're a John Deere guy, have self-tapping screws instead of the bolts that are threaded. So, and then you left a part number, which I assume is a John Deere part number. How much do those spindles cost from John Deere? Just curious. After Tim paid $25.
I mean, the original spindles will lasted 100 hours. I don't know how fast the replacement ones are going to wear out, but
See, now we all have to go to the next No Name Nationals in 2025 because we want to see this car.
oh, it won't be there this year. Not
He
now.
says 2025. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He's bringing his Ford, right?
Probably bring the Thunderbird. Yeah, I would think. I want him to take that Thunderbird to
Yeah, you were trying to convince him to take
take
it
the
to
Thunderbird to the
land
land speed
speed.
record. Yeah, because
Well,
you'd have to change the rear end ratio, and I don't know what else you'd have to do.
that's
But
a big undertaking, and unless you're throwing money at it,
that's what he
like I
said.
mean, unless you're throwing money
I, wa-
at
I was
his car,
I
you
was
probably
looking
shouldn't be
I was
heckling him to do
I was
something
looking
like
for a
that.
rear end for him so he could put some high gears in it and go 200 miles an hour, and I give you what two? I mean, a mile and a quarter. Give you a mile and a quarter to speed up, and he could probably go 200 in that thing.
Oh,
Isn't it true that mower decks spin to the left in Australia? Which ways do ours spin? Ours spins to the left, doesn't it? Let me see. Shoots out this side.
well, if they spin to the right, the sewers will back up.
What? I eat oranges, apples, and pears. I don't eat after 8 p.m.
Oh, that's right. There's a lot of people who are that way.
Yeah, I don't. This is really unusual for me to eat something that has that much sugar in it. You could buy 3 of the aftermarket spindles and have leftover change. Wow. Well, the one we put on there works great.
I mean, we have no idea how long it's going to last, but the
The
fitment was
first
just
one,
right.
the first one only lasted what 130 hours,
Yeah.
but it was a lot of years that thing sat around. So who knows if it wasn't lubricated well and it was sitting around? There could have been a little rusty business on the bearings or something, and then they tore up. Who knows?
I mean, we'll update you. Maybe it will fail prematurely.
Why didn't you lube the shit out of it? I mean, you pumped some grease in there, so
Yeah.
I don't expect that to dry out.
Yeah, but it might get hot and I'll drain out and then
Yeah.
die. You know, you know how the cheap parts can be. Maybe it is total garbage. Yeah, I don't know how you stay in business when your competitor can make parts at a third the price.
Whoa, look at this. Lester LeSabre. Thanks for the enjoyable lives. Well, thanks for being here. And
Thank you so
thanks for
much.
the super chat.
Wow.
Wow.
We
Yeah,
appreciate you,
pretty cool.
really. You don't have
And
to do
now
anything like
and
that.
now
It's
that
amazing.
you've done that, I'll tell us what we did. Viewers don't like the commercials during the live. So we haven't figured out how to get rid of the commercials in the center, so we just demonetized this live ourselves to keep the commercials from popping up.
Yeah,
So I hope they're not popping up.
yeah, we're really not like, I mean,
I want to
that's
I
very generous of you. We're really not all about the money, but we're not.
Yeah, thank you.
We do thank you. Yeah.
That right there made up for not monetizing
Yeah.
this whole live. It's just we don't want commercials popping up in the middle, and I
Yeah, there's like we haven't figured out how to control like when they are. If we can control when,
you can, but
then we can just tell people like, okay, we're gonna take a brief commercial break, and then this way people like,
we can do it every 30 minutes. But
mm,
then it doesn't tell you exactly when it's going to happen. It's about every 30 minutes. But yeah, then I could say, okay, we're taking a commercial break.
we still have stuff to learn. We're
And
working on it.
but nobody does that, and I see why they don't, because it's not quite predictable.
No.
And every half hour, that's a lot of commercials. We've done 3 and 4 hour lives. I mean, that's ridiculous. So I don't know, we just shut off the monetization
I
for
mean,
the
if you
for
think
this.
about it though, like if you're watching television, you're gonna get commercials every 10,
Oh,
15 minutes.
you know,
Especially at the end of the movie. Have you noticed that? They don't put a lot of commercials at the beginning of the movie, but man, they stack them up at the end of the movie. I guess once they got you hooked in there, they make you work for the end.
I just put a short video up of my car idling down the road without touching my accelerator and going 37 miles an hour. Was it downhill? Going up to 44 miles an hour on the straight with the lockup torque converter. Really? Those motor spindles are sealed bearings. You can grease them all you want, but they won't get much grease. Poke a hole in the seal on both sides. Yeah, no grease came out. She pumped some in there. Well, you can see it on the video, but I didn't see grease coming out anywhere, so I didn't know why.
Yeah, they're sealed bearings. It's kind of a sketchy sort of setup. It'll be Yeah, it'll be a while before any grease but the grease will cool it as it's running in there, I guess. I don't know.
So,
I don't make the rules. I just
so
I'm just a part swapper.
Dallas says he'll have the Thunderbird at No Name Nationals this year.
That'll be fun. That car's badass.
It's one of my favorite videos. I think Kim took the video, but I was standing there. I actually don't know who took the
I
video.
saw him staging and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be good,"
Yeah,
and it
like
was better than I even imagined. I was like, "Wow,
Dallas did the best burnout.
he just
It was better than a
blew through that.
burnout contest. He did a burnout before he ran down the track. It was
Boom.
like it was wonderful. It's on
That's
my.
a heck of a
I
car."
used it as a. I grabbed a still out of the screenshot out of that video, and it's in the video. Him doing that burnout. It was amazing.
Dr. Go with 323 gears. I guess once you do get rolling, yeah, it would go pretty fast even at
Not
idle.
323, 223.
Yeah. Wow.
You can put on the ads, but I don't get any ads on anything anyway. Oh, are you premium? I buy the premium because I don't like
Well,
to
that's
watch
the other
ads.
thing is half the people get the ad and the other half don't. It's just like
But if you have premium, I still get a little money out of it, which is good. I mean, if I monetize the video, premium pays a little, which is fine. I'm good with that. Um, Thunderbird came from the Mexican factory with 5-speed manual transmission with the 3.8 V6. Did it? Because that's not what it has now. But I don't know. Maybe it did. You, you gotta rock when you roll. I just I just buy the bearings for about $3 each, made in China. Oh, what do you do? Take it apart?
so. One of the first one that we replaced, it was bent real bad because we hit
Oh,
something with it.
yeah, the
So
shaft was meant.
we needed the whole thing, and we could have probably, but see, I wouldn't trust that we'd get the right size bearings the first try. I don't know. You're right. We probably could get the bearings a lot cheaper than just replacing the spindles, but it was easy to just click the whole thing.
Mexicans Texas, I don't pay for anything. For some reason, I don't get ads on anything. Oh, now everybody's going to rush to Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Go, Chris Cruz, let's see. That's cool. We only had a manual and a turbo coupe. It was more of an emission thing over there. Yeah, everything.
Oh, there's a lot of emission garbage here. It has been, and it's only getting worse.
Friend got me a needle to use on my grease gun so I could slip it under the edge of the seal to grease it without damaging the seal. Never thought about that. So why do they put the Zerk fitting on it? She's pumping, or at least she thought she was pumping grease in the Zerk fitting, but maybe it wasn't
Well, the
going in
Zerk
there.
fitting goes into the void between the two bearings, but it doesn't go into the bearing
Oh,
itself
because the
because they're
bearings are
sealed
sealed.
bearings.
I get it. I get it.
Okay.
So it's just filling the void up with grease. Oh, that's not doing any much good,
I
is
mean,
it?
once the bearing starts to fail, some of the grease will leak into
Some
it.
of it'll leak into it after it fails.
The bottom bearing will probably not wear out as fast.
The manual 3.8 was used in 83 through 86 as the one like yours, but also 89 through 96 years. Man, I like the looks of the 89 Thunderbird. Um, Good night, team. Big car show tomorrow. Taking the Chargers. Buddy's taking the 57 DeSoto. Man, there's like two great cars. Which one do I like better? I don't know. Man, 57 DeSoto. Hey, Locke, get some pictures and thanks for coming in. Take care. Chris, appreciate you. Open it up and check the bearing size. Idea for another video, spindle rebuild. Oh yeah, we could. The one that we took off, I suppose we could press that apart. How do you take it apart? You press it apart? We've got to press. I don't know how to.
Yeah.
I don't know how to get it apart. But the one we have is obviously bent and no good. The other one's not bent. It's just the bearings loose as hell. Kim went back to the kitchen. She's in the refrigerator.
I'm not snacking, I swear.
I'm not snacking. What are you doing in the refrigerator?
Snacking.
Snacking. Oh, man.
Caught me.
This year, the T-Bird should be quite a bit faster. Faster than last year? Well, I think you had the fastest car there last year, didn't you? Oh, who's going to be as fast as you? I think, um, who's going to be as fast as you are? Oh, sure.
Professor P? Professor P
Well,
fast?
Professor P, that's right. And,
Is he faster?
he thinks he's going to be. And, so does, Levi, thinks he's going to be faster. But Levi, the last 2 years, he broke. But maybe he's got that all sorted out. Maybe he'll be running all weekend. I hope. Yeah, we got to rebuild that, Kim, and then we'll have a spare on the shelf.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be good. I did watch the motor deck video, and now I feel guilty. I haven't resharpened the blades and inspected. Oh man, my blades are like all like pretzels. They're all beat up and a mess. And what are you eating? It smells funny.
It's pork chop.
Oh, uh, the
I put new
the blades. We bought new blades because they were. I hit rocks with them in wood and metal. Hit metal with the blades.
I bought new blades.
She bought me new blades. She has driven the mower, but mostly that's my thing. I like it. If I start getting all irritated with everything, I'll go out in the mower for a couple hours and
It's a good starter task for him. Like it
I
gives
feel
him
good.
time to kind of clear his head. He goes out there, mows around.
Yeah. It takes a while. It takes a couple hours to mow that grass out there. So what else, Kim?
Well, mm, we have. I already said this. If you've been here the whole time, you already know this. But I have revived an older.
Is that a word?
Yes, an older desktop computer for streaming. Not the one we use in here for the studio, but another one, and it has now been set up in a blown the heck up garage. The garage is cleaner in one space and messier everywhere else. And now we have better streaming facilities. So,
Oh, my car. It's her car. What's left to do on your car? Change the oil in the rear end.
yeah, I got to
Change the
change
oil in the
oil.
rear end.
The emergency brake cables, I forgot they're just zip tied to the under the side of the car, but they're not connected to anything.
So you need to connect those.
I mean I should, or else I could just carry a wheel stop around and put it in gear.
Well, is that required for tech? Is it going to pass tech without a parking brake?
I don't.
Oh, okay. And then what else? What else?
Dallas, do we have to have a parking brake to pass tech? I can't imagine how they would they confirm that? I don't think we need a parking brake. Um, let's see. There was a list
Oh
of
my God!
things.
Don't bend a rim. Wheel rims are $230 Australian, which is going to be like 190, 180 or something US.
We'll get one. There's all kinds of used mowers around this part
Yeah,
because
I'll be over there straightening it.
well, no, because John Deere had a factory here. There was a lot of those tractors built in this part
Yeah,
of the
but I mean, okay.
part of the
Anyway, so what
state.
were you saying? We got way off track there with the
Oh,
bent rim.
okay.
You were moving things in the shop. Oh no, we were talking about where the car was ready.
What the car needed. So emergency brake. Um, the brakes should be good now. The motor is running good. Um, the electrical fan.
You want to have the electric fan hooked up.
I really do because I when it's sitting not running, I want it to get some air because I don't want it to get heat soaked and vapor lock and act funny.
So she has an electric fan on there.
Toggle
It is
switch.
only to be used when you shut the car off so it doesn't heat soak so much.
Hmm.
Okay, and then what
I
else?
got the seat in.
Oh yeah, seats. And she redid the seat again. Took some of the foam out because it was too too tight, and so it's comfortable to sit in it.
I was thinking maybe we should see if we can make a smaller exhaust pipe because that one is almost big enough for the engine to breathe. If we can make a like
They
a
don't make
1 inch
small. They
exhaust
don't make
pipe
smaller exhaust pipes except maybe
for a
for the
motorcycle,
mower. Um,
it's got
okay,
small exhaust. We're not going to do anything with exhaust.
so then what else needs to be done to the car? The other thing
Oh,
we really
the
need to
tail
do.
lights need put back together.
Oh, they're apart. Okay, and the
Yes.
license plate light needs to be put on.
Yes. Now
But
you remember.
the real thing we need to do with that car is in the next week or so, go out and drive it a lot. Go back and forth to the store, go for a little ride down the street. Just make sure everything's, um, fix anything
Oh,
that needs to be
I
fixed like
put
that.
that new idler arm in. We probably should check
Oh,
the toe.
we got to set the toe on it.
Crap.
And yeah, you need to drive it, see where the steering wheel's setting, and then we'll set the toe and try to correct that at the same time. Um, let's see what else. Oh yeah, the alarm is really bad, so it'll probably handle better. You got good tires on the front now, and you've got new idler arm. Um,
Yeah, it should go good now.
have you ever had that thing filled up with gas?
Mhm.
You have. Okay, so you know there's no leaky business in the top of the tank or any weird shit like that.
Remember we had to take the sending unit out of the tank?
I know all that, but I don't think you ever put more than like 5 gallons in it.
Oh, I probably didn't. No.
Because if we drive it over there, we're gonna fill it up.
Yeah.
And if there's gas pouring out somewhere, we need to know now.
Okay.
Um, I don't know. Under the hood, it's pretty well squared away. I made the battery hold down. Um,
Mm-hmm.
okay. It's the only thing under the hood I can really think of is the electric fan. The fan's all mounted. It's just wired up.
Mm-hmm.
Put a switch inside, and she's got a relay and
I
all
need to
that.
check that
She's got to mount it all.
the voltage regulator is actually regulating properly because I replaced it and it should be good now, but I want to confirm.
Oh man. Really interesting thing that snowmobile drag racers do is they have a big ice cooler chest with 12-volt pump motor and quick connects and no radiator. So in the pits, the portable cools it down. Wow. Parking brake is not needed for tech. Okay, so that's the last thing we'll do because it'd be nice to have it when we park, but it's a manual transmission, so it wouldn't hurt to have a parking brake. And
Right, that's
and like a parking pole isn't that good either. So yeah, so that'll be the last thing on
it's
the
on
list.
on the wish list, but it's not on the required list. The rear end is good. Fuel system is good. Oh, fuel system is not good. I want to put a new fuel filter on it,
Oh,
and I want to, which is pretty easy. It's just a couple of clamps, and then I want to
do you have any
adjust the routing on that fuel line.
do you have any links of soft line on it that are you know
No, I just replaced the piece of soft line that goes from the body to the pump, and it's a short spot. So,
yes, it still has a single master cylinder.
mm-hmm.
I
But
don't know. I don't let
we
that worry
we
me.
put new rear axle in, so the fluid has all been sort of flushed, and so it's got new fluid in it. It works. I don't think it's gonna just fail for no reason. Usually they'll fail if there's old fluid in them too long and they're sticky or whatever.
The other
It
thing,
works real good.
the ones I've had fail, you get a lot of warning. Like you stop at a stop sign or a red light, more than likely, and you can feel the pedals start to sink, and the master's starting to bypass. But the thing is, people just leave them go when that happens, and they just ignore it, and eventually it just goes to the floor. So I've had single master cylinders fail, and that's how they've always failed, and I don't know. That's how everything was until well into my me driving. The tandem master cylinders came out what in the late '60s. I never had a car with a tandem master cylinder until oh, later, after I'd been driving for a while.
Mexican spec, I see your point, and that is why getting it working is on my list. I
Okay.
had I
Well,
have
parking
had
brake.
vehicles roll away in my lifetime, and I really don't like the idea of not having a parking brake.
Oh,
So,
I do like having a parking brake. Yeah, and
um,
and I have stopped cars with a parking brake. When I learned to drive, that's what they taught us to do. If we lost our brakes, we had to be able to get the car to stop and get it off the side of the road with the handbrake. And it's a thing you pulled up like this, and you just hold it so it's released, and you just modulate it by moving it. And it was a little hard to get the car stopped, but it wasn't that hard. You know?
the the other thing is, I thought there was a leaky valve cover gasket, but in hindsight, I think that it is the like breather system on the motor
Mm.
is puking all over the valve and it's dripping down the side of the motor. So I think that I we need to figure out some way to route that air. I don't want to go into the manifold because I don't want to mess with the air fuel mixture. I'd rather just like route it into the top of the carburetor, like through the air filter, maybe.
So brake hose that pops. You put new brake hose on that car, didn't you? I know you did on the rear end.
The rear is new, and the fronts are newer. They're definitely not original
They're not
lines. They're
original.
replacement lines, and everything is working. Like it's all been inspected, and it looks good.
He's less of a saber. Brake lines and hoses new. I've had lines pop from rust. There's no rusty lines here. There's greasy lines
Mm,
here.
there could be rusty lines, but they look good.
Yeah, I'm just saying that when we were up north, yeah, that was a huge problem. I worked in those buy here, pay here used car lots a lot, and most of what I did was replace brake lines and fuel lines. And since I've been here, I haven't seen one. And of course, I grew up in the West, Southwest, so I never heard of brake lines and fuel lines breaking until I got to Ohio. And then it's just such a common problem. Got to head out. 5:30 is coming soon. Okay, Dallas, good.
Oh
Hey,
goodness,
thanks.
Dallas! Thanks so much for coming in and
Yeah,
checking us out.
and thanks for sharing all the pictures and everything. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, that keeps things moving, and
This is
it's
a
a lot
this
of fun.
this is a car I've heard about for quite a while, and I wanted to see it, so it's pretty good.
Check out
Thanks.
Mr. Rodder's Neighborhood channel
Oh yeah, and
on
tomorrow.
YouTube, and check out the American Hot Rod Association, AHRA live with Dallas and Professor P. And I think I already have that link in my. They will be live. What time do they start? 7
They
on
start
the
at
American Hot Rod
they start at
AHRA
7
channel.
Central. Yeah, and
There's their
stop
link
in there. It's if you
again.
like to get in the weeds a little bit with tech, that's the place to go.
Oh man, they'll go really deep into tech. They will also help direct you to sources for specialty parts if you need something that is a little bit.
and and people that are not so deep into it, that they're real helpful with all that stuff, like us asking if we need a parking brake. So it's one of the better. It's my favorite live. It's one of the best lives out there.
Yep, they're good people. So check them out. I think most of the people who are in our channel already know who they are, though. So we don't have to, that's the only reason why we don't really hammer it because you already know. Y'all know.
Y'all,
Y'all know where the good
you're from,
good stuff
you're
is.
from the north, and you're saying y'all.
Y'all and that.
Well, I don't know, Kim. We've been on here 3 hours and 15 minutes.
I think that's the appropriate amount of being on.
You're. I know you're feeling it.
Well, I had a
So
busy day getting a motor, a new slant 6 for my collection, my shiny things, my precious. I got me another slant 6. It's from a Barracuda, and it will be mine.
next time, bring the Barracuda without the engine.
Well, the Barracuda, I couldn't
Yeah.
yeah, I couldn't get the Barracuda out of the man. He wanted very much more monies for the Barracuda than for the motor. But he marked the price of the motor down considerably for my happiness, for me. And I'm really thinking about making the Danger. The Danger? The Ramacuda? What do you think? Which one do you think? Which one do you guys think? Which vehicle should get the Slant 6? Oh, the other thing I thought
Oh,
about.
the what do you call it? The poll I put up. Where's the poll I put up? Every time live, I'm gonna do something with the poll.
Tavo, I don't got the money to import a Hemi 6 yet.
Yeah, everybody wants those things, but
Yet.
after seeing them and everything, I'm like, I don't know. I guess. Where am I? Oh, no, I don't
Just
want
go
that.
to YouTube.
I'm trying to. Oh, I pushed the wrong button. That's what I
The
did.
silly man. Okay, so
Now you pushed. I can't find the cursor. There it is.
okay, so you ran a poll. There was a poll.
You talk about the poll.
I don't remember what the poll was.
It was about the mouse mess versus the rust.
Go to posts. Oh yes, of course.
Which is more unpleasant to repair?
We'll slide that over to the side.
And the yeah, I guess I don't know. I guess I could. I don't want all my stuff up there. It says here, rodent damage, mouse nest, chewed wires was one choice, and the other is corrosion, rust holes, or corroded fasteners. And the poll says 83% thinks the rodent damage is worse, and 17% said the rust corrosion problem was worse. Man, I just don't. I would have been on the 17% side because I didn't grow up with rust and corrosion.
I think a lot of our people, they just don't even deal with the rust.
Being paid the $4.63 valve repair, major replacement
$4,300. I'm so sorry.
So I brought this up, this poll. So what were you talking about? Which is something that I thought you were asking about, which something, and I thought we'll put a poll up for it.
Oh, the poll was which vehicle should we put the Slant 6 in?
Oh, okay. So maybe we'll put up another poll for that and have it up there.
We'll think about it. Maybe that will come this week. We'll put up which vehicle. Should we put it in a mini bike? Should we put it in the Crossfire?
I just posted more mice damage videos. Yeah, they even get into airplanes and make a mess. And when I was out there in the test site, they got into one of our ground stations and just, I don't know. I'm sure you've seen pictures of drone, like a Predator ground station. There's all these screens and controls and everything. And behind those screens, there's a space where you can get up behind there and work on it. Well, some road got up in there, chewed all its wires up, made a disaster area. And of course, we don't know that. We start turning things on, and then stuff goes wrong.
Yikes!
So they're everywhere. They're in the desert. They're out here. They're in the bad weather area. They're a mess. It's any consolation, I don't own a single Slant 6. Thought you did. No, you've got the Hemi 6s. I thought you had a Slant one of them. It's interesting.
There's my new Slant 6.
You know what you put it in?
What do I put it in?
You already put it in the van. It's in there. I can see it.
Interesting. Well, what do I do with the engine that's in the van then?
Well, this one isn't hooked up.
It's a 4.2 V6, good motor.
You're not going to put a Slant 6 in a Ford van.
Not that rusty van, no.
Okay, so we're going to shut it down?
Yeah, guys. So we have the studio in the garage worked up a little better, and we're going to try and do more visually stimulating streams from the garage, we want to have it like a camera that we can point at what we're working on instead of just being like sitting here talking to you, so that you can kind of see the progress that we're making, because things are moving along. And yeah, you're going to see that later in this week. Do we know if we're streaming tomorrow? Did we decide
No,
for sure?
oh, not unless we come in after Dallas.
Well, right. That's usually when we would come in, around 10
I
p.m. is
don't
what
know.
we've been starting our garage streams around 10 p.m. And we've been going on the weekends, it seems like.
We
There's
could
people who
we
want
could
to.
come in. Dallas and Shane run for 2 hours. We could come in an hour after that because I'll be here in the house watching them, and then we'll go up there and get set up and get going.
I know we have a Poly 318 in his van. It's been stored there for a year and a half. We use his vans as sheds. Oh man. All right, the collection's getting pretty big. We have lots of work to do. Um,
Yeah, good night, Tavo.
so glad you made it in tonight, Tavo. He was like, we can't quit before, because I around
Yeah, I
two.
want to talk to you about those spindles. Okay.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
We'll
Take
see
care.
you again soon. We'll post as early as we can when we know we're doing shop streams in the evenings, and we hope that you can make it there. And we'll be here